6 touchdowns to 1 interception. He does not turn the ball over easily, and he's squirrely. Can get outside the pocket, can make guys miss, and make things happen with his feet. In fact, I do believe he leads all of Snow Canyon when it comes to rushing yards this year. So Hunter Johnson is the easy pick for the Star Watch.
Now, Johnson had, I think, 180 rushing yards at the first 2 games. Unfortunately, he had negative yards. They sacked him. He didn't have the mobility last week, as Coach Esplin mentioned. Actually, I think he had like minus 26 rushing yards or something last week. So Hunter Johnson is a guy they need to be mobile. He runs a spread. They run out of the spread. He keeps the ball a lot. And as he's growing as a junior quarterback, he's going to get better and better at deciding when to pitch the ball. His favorite pitch man is Jensen on the outside. Devin Jensen, the senior running back, and that's our Star Watch, Intermountain Sports Medicine Star Watch here. Let's talk about starting lineups a little bit now. I want to talk a little bit about receivers, Rustin. If you look at the guys who have caught the ball for these 2 teams, first of all, you go to Cedar. They've got a kid by the name of Hardman. He wears number 3, and that kid has a dozen catches for 153 yards, a couple of touchdowns on the season. Connor Hardman is just a junior, one of the star receivers on this team. Another guy with 7 catches in 3 games is for the Redmen is number 6. That is Braden Street. Those are going to be the 2 favorite targets for lunch.
Yeah, they really are. And we talked about how Cedar was able to spread the football around against Canyon View. They're going to have to do that again. And you have multiple guys, even somebody like a DeMario Warren, who's caught a touchdown for the Reds this year, could step up and be big. Tell Hershey, who does a lot on the defensive side, could be big for them from the receiver spot. This is a Cedar team that's still, despite having Ben Ellis in the backfield, they have a healthy dose of pass-to-run ratio. They're not really top-heavy when it comes to one specific aspect of a football team, and I think that they really rely on almost everybody to come out and contribute. They don't really have one guy who they're necessarily dependent on. It's a team effort, really, when you look at the Cedar Reds.
I love the receiving core. We had some of them on our media day for the Snow Canyon Warriors. You look at some of these guys. You've got, of course, Jensen out of the backfield. Brooks Esplin is a dart. That kid is so quick and on defense a missile, but also he's got 7 catches on the season, averaging 14 yards per grab. You've got Kelly. You've also got Jordan Wade. You've got Logan Mendenhall, who missed the first couple of games with an injury. He'll be out there making catches as well. This is a receiving core that has a lot of talent.
Did we say Will Warner as well?
Will Warner? No, I didn't say it yet, but you got him.
It just goes to show you how deep the Snow Canyon receiving core is. Warner himself has 180 yards this year and 2 scores. So at Snow Canyon, anytime that Johnson drops back, 1, 2, 3, 4 different guys who you're comfortable with making the right read, running their route to perfection, and coming down with the football.
That's the starting lineup brought to you by Sky Mountain Golf Course. Hit it to the sky at the beautiful Sky Mountain Golf Course in Hurricane. Call in the morning. Don't call now. Call in the morning for a tee time at 635-7888. Warriors now on to the field. They actually, Cedar won the toss. Cedar deferred to the second half, so the Warriors will have the football first. Cedar in their road whites with maroon numbers. They've got the gold helmets. Snow Canyon, they've got white pants with navy blue jerseys, white numbers, and gold helmet. There's a lot of gold helmets out there today.
Yeah, which is always a fantastic look, in my opinion, for a football team. So many teams have made it work so well. Snow Canyon always kind of gives me like a Notre Dame feel.
Yeah, a little bit of Notre Dame. I know they have grab gold. That's kind of one of their things. It is part of their quest for excellence. Had a couple of state championships back in the 90s, and now they're looking for a little bit of recapture of the glory. Remember, last year, this Warriors team went 10-2. There are only 2 losses to the same team. They lost a close one to Pineview in the regular season. They lost a blowout to Pineview in the playoffs. Warriors looking to start region play night, right, and the kick is in the air, and it's going to be caught by, I believe, Warner down the middle of the field, cuts it up the middle. He's got a little bit of a crease, got bumped and spun around, kept his feet alive, gets it out to the 35 and the 40-yard line. Great return right up the middle of the field by Warner.
And that's excellent field position to start this game off if you're Snow Canyon. I feel this year more so than ever, and maybe it's just because it's recent, special teams has played a big role in almost every game I've called. I have a feeling it's going to be no different here tonight, so great field position to start off of Warner's return.
By the way, I did a game a couple of weeks ago up at Highland High School. Pineview was up there.
Yeah.
Their press box faces west. So I thought I was done with that when Snow Canyon moved theirs. I had to stare in the stun for about an hour and a half during that game. So, all right, 4 wide outs for Hunter Johnson, the quarterback for the Warriors. hands off on the very first play up the middle and moves the pile out for about 4 or 5 yards on the quick dive right up the middle.
I think that
Jensen,
was
number 2.
I think it was Drake Kelly.
Oh, they brought Kelly in at running back.
Yeah, which is, I mean, to add to kind of your surprise there, Kelly has not, according to at least the statistics that we're given, has really not touted the rock a lot this year. It's been Jensen primarily. Kelly gets the go. Kelly does a lot for him defensively, and he gets the first carry of the ball game.
By the way, Jordan Wade, who has arguably the best hair in the region, some kind of equipment problem or something, they make him run off the field. Another guy, Warner, runs in for him. As Snow Canyon goes, trips to the right side. I think we're about ready to go. Now the referee has something with Warner's jersey or uniform as well. I don't know if something's not tucked in or he's got the wrong whatever. Now they'll go to their third-string guy as Coulter Stewart, the junior, will come in and run that left side wide receiver. What the heck's going on over there? I'm sure Coach Esplin's going, hey, what'd you guys do? You got lipstick on your pants or what? What's going on here? Now we're ready to go. Trips to the right side for Hunter Johnson and company on 2nd down and 6. Again, he goes running back. Again, it's Kelly, and Kelly kind of weaving his way inside. We'll get another 3, maybe 4 yards, Rustin. So 4 yards and a cloud of pellets has him at 3rd down and 2.
And you may look at this and say, well, nothing too exciting yet. For Snow Canyon, these gains are exactly what you want. This is a team who's still trying to find their rushing rhythm. Kelly, 14 rush yards coming in this game. Devin Jensen, 51 rush yards coming in this game. Not a rush-heavy team.
Big 3rd and short now. Again, no, this time they fake to Kelly. Johnson keeps himself. He'll have the first down across midfield and into Cedar territory at the 42-yard line. So first down of the game. A fabulous Freddy's first down here on KDXU.
And despite them still trying to figure out really what they want to be when it comes to running the football, one thing has been constant, and that's Hunter Johnson and his ability to run the football, using his legs to pick up the first.
Junior quarterback, 6'1", 185-pounder. Not super giant, not a big guy, but he gets it done. This time he wants to throw. A little pressure. He throws it over the middle. It's a nice comeback and catch for Snow Canyon. That was a little bit scary, Rustin, because he threw it in between 2 linebackers.
There was a red linebacker reading it almost all the way, got that ball past him, able to be completed to Bo Hickman, who makes his first grab of this ball game, first completed pass of this game for the Snow Canyon Warriors.
By the way, Kelly this year had 4 carries coming in 3 games. He had 2 carries already in this contest at running back. 2nd down and 8. Maybe there's an injury to Jensen. Maybe that's a problem. Again, they run it. This time Kelly left side, steps away from one guy, gets hit low at about the 35-yard line, and his forward progression will be stopped right there. It'll bring up another 3rd down for the Warriors. Another 3rd and short, though. 3rd and 3. Last time it was 3rd and 2.
And Devin Jensen is on the sideline in uniform, has his helmet on, but he was also during the national anthem and stuff, he was kind of also off to the sideline by himself. We don't want to speculate, but it wouldn't be far-fetched.
A little bit of a low snap, but Johnson gets a handoff to Kelly, who picks his way across the first down marker and down to about the 30-yard line. Wasn't a flashy run, but he sidestepped the very first guy. That got him enough room to get a first down.
And this Cedar defensive front has done a solid job all year. And for Snow Canyon right now, establishing the run will be key. We talked about it in our keys to the game. And right now they're trying to whittle down the Cedar defense.
1st and 10 just across, well, about the 31. Johnson throws deep over the middle. Esplin with a great catch at the 10-yard line. He had to reach back above his left shoulder, got both hands on the football, and held on, and it's going to be 1st down and goal.
7 catches and 99 yards with 2 scores coming into this game. Make that his 8th grab of the year, and what a fantastic one it was.
Dun. You better write that one down. It's a cool play.
I better.
1st down and goal just inside the 10. Johnson tries to get to the corner, uses his speed, but boy, Cedar is there. He does cut back at the 10 and gets about a yard to the 9-yard line, but Cedar had that one sniffed out. Great catch on the previous play. Went for about 21 yards to Brooks Esplin from Hunter Johnson. Ball maybe slightly overthrown, but boy, Esplin made him look good. So now 2nd down and goal, and they give him, not a very good, they got it about the 9, so give him about a half yard. 2nd down and goal. They send a jet sweep. Quarterback keeps, though, on the fake and will pound forward for about 3. One of the Cedar players' helmets comes off, so he's going to, I think their nose tackle is going to have to come out of the game.
Yeah, it looks like the guy who made the tackle was number 67, Dallin DeMille, and I think he's also the one who ended up running off the field.
Yep. New rule in football, I say new, it's probably 5 years old now. If your helmet comes off and it wasn't because of a penalty, you have to go out for at least one play. Now 3rd down, goal to goal. It's a little bit longer now. They've got to get 6 yards. Johnson and Kelly in the backfield. Johnson looks in the corner, throws it deep over the middle, but overthrew his man and actually picked the wrong guy. You probably saw it like I did. One guy ran corner. The other guy ran the slant. He threw it to the slant guy. Brooks Esplin was wide open in the corner.
And he ended up targeting Jordan Wade, who was not wide open.
No, he was double covered, yeah. Which is why Esplin was open, I suppose. Yep. So it's 4th down and goal for the Warriors. Ball sitting at the 6-yard line. Normally you might see a field goal in this situation, but they leave the offense on the field. Good drive, but it could end up in nothing if they don't convert here. 4th and goal. Fade into the corner. Jump catch, touchdown, Warriors, as there come the colors flying here from the home side on homecoming.
Yeah, big pass there. It was interesting to watch the coverage.
Was that Wade, by the way?
Damian McGarvey with the grab. It was Jake Hill for the touchdown.
Right after the touchdown, everybody threw their chalk in the air, and all of a sudden we couldn't see anymore.
Yeah, and we have an injured Red over in the corner. He was on the coverage of Hill. That ball was thrown up. Hill rose to grab it, and his defender went down, kind of clutching at his leg, and really it made for an easy grab and score for the Warriors.
Well, and truth be told, in those situations, a lot of time the receiver knows the ball's coming.
Yeah.
So the receiver's going to take his little 7 or 8 yard run and then turn around and look. The defender then has to react to that look. He didn't react, and it was, like you said, it was a pretty easy catch for the touchdown. We played just over 4 minutes, and it looks like the injured Cedar player is up, and let's see if he's walking. Put a little pressure on the leg. Must have come down funny on the ankle or knee, huh?
For a second, it appeared as if he was going to go up to contest that ball thrown up to Hill and then immediately dropped.
That's Damian McGarvey, the DB, the cornerback on that side. McGarvey maybe a little bit injured physically, maybe a little bit injured his pride too, because the jump ball and he wasn't in on the play, and it was an easy touchdown for the Warriors.
And for Snow Canyon right there, a lot of credit goes simply to a healthy balance. You could have came out throwing the football everywhere against Cedar. You decided to run it with Kelly multiple times, sets up great passing looks. You had that pass to Esplin for about 21 yards, and it leaves the Cedar defense on their toes throughout the entire drive, and it ends in 6.
Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point coming up to try to make it a 7-0 lead for the Warriors, who went for it on 4th and 6, got a touchdown. They're actually holding up play because the injured player is still walking. He actually walked around the end zone thinking they'd let him play, but they're actually making him wait. Now he is back near the Cedar sideline, and they'll let them kick the extra point. 6-0 our count, 7:46 to go first quarter. Snap is a little high. Kick, though, is up, and it is good. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. Warriors 7, Cedar nothing.
Sunset Flooring, family owned and operated since 1991, are St. George's flooring and window covering experts. No job is too big or too small. From new installs to remodels, our helpful and experienced staff can show you a variety of flooring and window covering options to fit your budget and give you the look you want. Visit our showroom, call, or visit us at sunsetflooring.net to schedule your free in-home estimate. Sunset Flooring in St. George. Let us help you make your house a home. Sunset Flooring, family owned and operated since 1991, are St. George's flooring and window covering experts. No job is too big or too small. From new installs to remodels, our helpful and experienced staff can show you a variety of flooring and window covering options to fit your budget and give you the look you want. Visit our showroom, call, or visit us at sunsetflooring.net to schedule your free in-home estimate. Sunset Flooring in St. George. Let us help you make your house a home.
Hey Southern Utah, Tyler here, Boulevard Home. We wanted to take this time to thank you.
Jumping, so jump catch there in the corner of the end zone. Warriors with the early lead. The kickoff is down the left side. It is touched by the Cedar player and goes out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. That's one of those, you either let it go into the end zone or you make sure you have a clean grab. He did not have a clean grab, and the Reds will start at their own 2-yard line. Ouch, that one hurts. By the way, score update from Pineview High School. Hurricane comes out, drives the length of the field, gets down to the 3-yard line. On 4th and goal, they lose 5 yards and end up with no points. First play for Pineview, a holding penalty. And that was after the catch, so Pineview on the move the other direction. That's a Hearst Ace Hardware update here on KDXU, and of course on WarriorNation.tv and SportsRadio977.com. Cedar Red starting deep in their own territory at the 2-yard line after the misplay by the kickoff returner. Tried to grab it right on the sideline and fumbled it out of bounds. So first down. Handoff, Ben Ellis, everybody all over Ellis. He is a tough kid, and he breaks about 4 tackles, all to get maybe a yard.
Yeah, Ellis is that type of running back who will plunge forward, and that's exactly what they need right now. Tell the two different teams. You have Snow Canyon start their first drive at about their 40, nearly into enemy territory, and then Cedar nearly in their own end zone. It's two different starts to this game, and I know for Cedar, Coach Bennett stressed in his coach's comments that the Reds need to play a full 4 quarters. They played about 1 full quarter against Canyon View, and it happened to be enough. He said that will not be enough against Snow Canyon. So if they want to play all 4 quarters, they got to recover from this.
Second down, again they go Ellis. This time they get him low. He does get across the 5 to about the 6.5 yard line, but Cedar will face third down and about 5. It looks like they get a good spot for him out to the 8. So 3rd and 5 from the 8.
And I'm kind of watching over on the side here, Brooks Esplin and Connor Hardman. You talked about Hardman. Hardman ended up tumbling to the turf after trying to throw a block. Esplin flexed a little bit to the sideline. These two might be an ongoing rivalry to watch throughout this game.
Going to be a lot of fun. Lunt back to pass, lefty tries to screen. Ball is caught at the 5, out to the 9, but good coverage by the Snow Canyon Warriors. There is, however, a flag down. Tackle on the play for Snow Canyon by Drake Kelly, playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Kelly is big defensively for the Snow Canyon team. 27 tackles on the year, make it 28. Also has an interception. That last reception off the screenplay was to Tell Hershey for Cedar.
See what the penalty is. I haven't seen. Oh, they're going to call it on the defense.
Yeah.
Was it a face mask? I didn't see the initial call.
I didn't either.
But it looks like they're going 15, so it must have been a face mask on the tackle. So we credit Drake Kelly for making the tackle, but he got a little bit of grill. So a big break for Cedar. They started at their own 2.5 yard line. They're now out to the 25 yard line. 1st and 10 Reds. Again, they're not the Redmen anymore. The year before last season, the school board voted to drop the name Redmen and call them Reds. A lot of folks in Cedar are not happy about that, by the way. After the school's been open for 70-something years, they changed the name. 1st down and 10 Cedar. Send a man in motion. Quarterback fakes to him, hands to Ellis up the middle. He is met early, but the forward lean of Ben Ellis, this kid is a tank. And you can see, even when they tackle him right away, look where the ball is. He gained 2 yards.
He is a tank, and a lot of credit has to go to number 49, standing in the hole and drawing contact, Aiden Anea, who kind of got popped there by Ellis. He was able to hold him to a short gain, and it's a team effort. There's multiple Warriors on Ellis every time he hits the turf. But right now, this Warriors defense trying to show they're up to the challenge.
Left-handed sophomore Coden Lunt is the quarterback for the Reds. They come out with, looks like 3 wideouts and a tight end, plus they've got the running back Ellis in the backfield. Lunt fakes to him, keeps it this time, gets it right up the field, and actually gets across the 30 to about the 34, maybe 35. Well, they're going to mark it right at the 34. Another 3rd down for Cedar, but this time a short one, 3rd down and 1.
And Lunt's not the type of quarterback. He's not going to take off near as much as, say, Snow Canyon's Hunter Johnson. Only 39 rush yards on the year. Does not have a rushing touchdown yet. But in situations where they feel it will benefit the team the most, Coach Bennett might call number 10.
Well, the read play does no good if the quarterback never keeps it, so he's got to keep occasionally, right?
Yes, right.
Man in motion. Hand to Ellis. Ellis hit in the backfield, fights for yardage. I don't think he got there. In fact, I think he's going to be a yard, maybe even a yard and a half short. And Cedar's going to face their first 4th down of the game. Yeah, they had to get it across the 35, about a foot. The ball is a foot on the other side of the 35, but they are leaving the offense on the field.
And that's just great discipline from the Warrior defense. Kason Crandall came across in a sweeping motion. They faked to him, and nobody on Snow Canyon bit able to stop the ball carrier. short of the Fabulous Freddy's first down. And here we go, big fourth down for a defense who's only given up about 20 points a game so far this year.
Crowd making a lot of noise on this fourth down and short. Probably going to try to draw him offside. No, they do give to Ellis. Ellis will dive for the first down. I think he got it on second effort. They hit him low, but that kid is so strong. He just carried the defender across the 35, first down and 10.
It was Drake Kelly who made contact, had the hit, and brought him down. Solo tackle on Ben Ellis, which is not an easy thing to do, but the official signals forward, and that's a Fabulous Freddy first down.
Yeah, needed about 2 feet. He got about 3 feet. Maybe 3.5. First down and 10, Cedar at the 36-yard line. Snow Canyon has drawn first blood. A touchdown pass from Hunter Johnson to Jake Hill. Now Cedar trying to match it on their first possession. Trips to the left side for Coden Lunt. Runs the option down the left side. He cuts up in the hole and will get 3-4 yards. Probably good decision because Snow Canyon had set the edge, made him cut inside. If he tries to go outside, he's probably going backwards.
Yeah, Rockwell Jones able to get in there, wrap around the legs, and for Jones this year, AG, he's been stout on the defensive side. He's the team's third leading tackler, 25 tackles and a sack for Rockwell this year.
And I think you could probably give him a nomination for best name in the region. Rockwell Jones, I love that. By the way, there was a penalty on the play on Cedar. A 10-yard penalty right at the spot where he was tackled. So it'll be holding, and so instead of second down and about 6, it's going to be first down and about 16.
And right now, Cedar, it's been a very slow drive. We've milked a lot of time off the clock, haven't moved far, but they still have the ball.
Lunt rolls to the left side, looking downfield, throws it across the middle instead, and the catch is made. Gain of about 10 yards, and his target on that play was Connor Hardman. We talked about him in the pregame. Hardman, the junior receiver, with the catch, gets it out to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, he leads this Cedar team interceptions so far. Add another one to it. And we said we wanted to watch Hardman and Esplin kind of go at it. There's a little bit of jawing going on only a couple minutes ago, and catches like that will probably only increase the likelihood.
Second down, about 3.5, 4 yards to go. Send a man in motion. Hand it to the motion guy. No, the quarterback keeps a good fake. Had me faked. Had the defense faked. He'll get a first down near midfield. So Lunt showing a little bit of mobility that I don't know that he's shown that much in the first 3 games.
Yeah, and it's different. Snow Canyon had a look where they had someone come in on a sweep where they didn't bite. This time they do after they run it from the opposite side, and Lunt able to pick up the first down.
The Reds moving the ball. Remember, this started at their own 2-yard line. They've moved 48 yards. That's the good news. The bad news is they still got 50 to go.
50 to go. And, I don't think Cedar's too concerned about the pace right now either. They're probably okay with keeping the football as long as possible.
Hand off to Ellis. Ellis right side, making guys miss, plowing guys over. Dives all the way to the 45 of Snow Canyon for a 5-yard gain. Nice play by the big, strong Benjamin Ellis. By the way, our game brought to you by Nets on Fire. Check out netsonfire.org for back-to-school training specials and get signed up today. Nets on Fire is located in the Be More complex, building champions on and off the court. Our clock has 90 seconds left in the first quarter. We are rolling along here at SCHS. Lunt on second down and 5, wants to throw. Straight drop, throws deep to the right side. Man coverage out there. Passes. Caught, dropped, and caught. And it's a touchdown, Reds. How in the heck did he hold on to that?
Oh, what a mix of emotions there. Lunt wound up and got it into the hands of DeMario Warren down the right sideline. He bobbled it. Appeared as if he may have stepped out of bounds. Couldn't tell if it was a catch, and before you know it, it's a touchdown. That's how crazy things were there. It was a catch, a bobble, a drop, out of bounds. No, touchdown for Cedar. DeMario Warren.
Now Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point by Hernandez Hinojosa. The kick is up, and it is perfect. And we played a little over 10 minutes, and this game is all tied up 7-7 on the TD pass from Lunt to DeMario Warren. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. Wow. Didn't see that coming. Perfect.
I think there's always options to treat your pain, and I would recommend to any patient who's dealing with chronic pain to be the squeaky wheel to get the grease. There's always more that we can do. Our whole goal is to get you better without surgery, but sometimes we need to operate as well.
And we work closely with surgeons when what we're doing isn't providing the amount of pain relief that the patient is hoping for. But we specialize in minimally invasive procedures, focusing mostly in the spine, but we also do work in other areas of the body.
With the knowledge that we can't help everybody, but we want patients to know that we're going to try to do our best to help them.
What is rewarding about working in this field? It's being able to help somebody
out there. Esplin trying to make some moves. He does at the 35. Stays alive at the 40. Somebody got him from behind, though, and he's tackled at the 41-yard line. Give credit for Cedar to number 33, James Minute, on the tackle.
And it's kind of funny there because the defender who came in and made the tackle actually wasn't anywhere near the play when it first initially happened. He had to pursue from behind as Esplin was making guys miss.
Gain of about 5.5 or so. Now they hand on the end around, trying to get to the corner and getting close to the first down marker for the Snow Canyon Warriors was that was number 11, Carson Nowatzki. Nowatzki, the offensive coordinator's son, he is a junior. Had a bunch of Nowatzki boys come through Snow Canyon over the last, 4, 5, 6 years.
Very, very common name, at least since I've been here.
It is a fabulous Freddie's first down at the 45 for Snow Canyon. Now the handoff is, we got Jensen back in the game finally, huh? Devin Jensen on the carry. Had to sit out the first series. Maybe he was in a little bit of trouble. We don't know. I don't want to speculate, but he did sit the first series for Snow Canyon. Looked pretty good on that carry as he picks up about 6.
And whatever the reason is, he's back out there, and that's a big boost to this Snow Canyon offense. His statistics on the year, 16 carries, 51 yards. He's a good pass-catching back, 11 catches and almost 50 yards out of the backfield as a receiver.
Looks like a timeout on the field brought to you by Scott Gibson at Intercap Lending. Nope, not a timeout. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll take the break. 1 quarter in the books on our We Win scoreboard. It is Snow Canyon 7, Cedar 7. Back in 1 minute.
Now your teeth are gone. I don't remember anything happened. That's a good thing.
You still have your wisdom teeth? I don't. I had them taken out because they were causing problems. Why are they there in the first place? Experts say our jaws were bigger and we needed our wisdom teeth for eating, but over time, our jaws have gotten smaller. Other scientists say that our brains have gotten bigger. The fact is, they just don't fit and need to be taken out. If you leave your wisdom teeth in, they can cause crooked teeth, increase tooth decay, jaw pain cyst under the gums, and they may grow in sideways. Let's get them out. All Out Wisdom Teeth can remove your wisdom teeth for half the price, including exams, x-rays, IV sedation, and their dry socket money-back guarantee. If you need your wisdom teeth removed, click on the link to visit alloutwisdomteeth.com or call 435-414-3111.
Already 1 quarter of this Region 10 season in the books. 7-7, Snow Canyon and Cedar Warriors on the march now. Quarterback Johnson wants to throw, has a guy wide open out there. The catch is made by Wade. No, he dropped the football. He was so open. He saw a defender closing. He thought, all right, I'm going to catch this ball and make a really quick juke move on this guy. He forgot one little thing. He did not catch the football, grabbed his head afterwards.
And those are always the toughest plays as a receiver because you feel like, you let your quarterback down, your line down, and we know Wade's more than capable of not only making that catch, but catch is much more spectacular. Case and Crandall was the nearest defender, and he wasn't even close.
And now a bad snap, a low snap, and the quarterback Johnson just has to dive on it. So potentially a touchdown pass or at least a big gainer on second down turns into a 3rd and 4, which turns into now a 4th down and 8 for the Warriors. Probable punting situation, and here comes the punt team.
Exact opposite of their first drive, which everything went pretty smoothly. They were able to pick it their own pace, attack it how they wanted, and it just goes to show you how football is such a momentum sport. Not only does Cedar score, but you have a big drop from one of your star receivers, and the rest of it kind of snowballs.
So they sent the punter out onto the field with 11:14 to go in the second quarter. And the kick is away. Very high kick away from the return man. Bounces to the 20, goes sideways, and will actually go out of bounds at the 21. They lost a yard on the roll. Usually on this turf, you gain yardage on the roll. But this one bounced sideways and backwards 1 yard, and Cedar will start at their own 21-yard line. This is a Cedar team, remember, that had 3 points in the first 3 quarters against Canyon View last week. They already have 7 on the board, and now they've got the ball.
And Cedar's a team this year. They average about 20, 21 points a game. They only put up 7 in that big loss to Spanish Fork. They bounced back in that loss to Juab where they put up 28. So they're always good for around that 20, 21 mark. And but it took them all 4 quarters to get there against Canyon View, not to mention that overtime period. So offense off to a much better start.
Coden Lunt, again, the quarterback. He's got 4 wideouts, and big bowling ball Ben Ellis is the running back. Hand off to Ellis on the first play. Hey, B button on the Xbox controller. He spin moves out of the attempted tackle by Drake Kelly and made a little lemonade out of lemons, gained 4 yards on what probably should have been a loss.
You know what, AG, I don't want to poke fun or anything here, but how do you know that the B button's the spin move? You been playing recently?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? Because you're actually right? I think the B button is the spin move.
Or you can swirl the right stick. By the way,
right stick, which
if
is
you're
your
talented.
juke stick.
I'm not. Gain of about 4, second down. Now they want to run the sweep. Quarterback keeps it himself, faking the handoff, and Lunt will get maybe 3 yards. That'll set up a makeable 3rd down, and let's see where they spot the football. Looks like it's going to be put down at the 28, so it'll be 3rd down and 3.
And these are big, especially in region games. Talking to Coach Bennett earlier, I asked him if it feels any different prepping for a region game than it has for your other 3. And he says, oh, yeah, the physicality, specifically on the offensive line, is absolutely a night and day difference. And right now in short downs like these, the offensive line means that much more, and that physicality means that much more.
4 wideouts for the Reds. Look for Ben Ellis to carry it here probably on 3rd down and 3. They fake it to Ellis. Instead, they throw the slant. The ball is caught at the 40, out to the 43-yard line. Perfect throw by the quarterback, by the way, as he hit it right on the numbers, making the catch for Cedar. That was number 6 on the reception. That is Braden Street.
And for Street, it was a well-run route, able to get open in the middle of the field and even pick up a couple yards after catch. And right now, Lunt has a lot of poise. They're not asking him to throw the football every down, but when he is, they make these absolutely attainable reads. We talk about how good he is at spreading the love around. He's doing it here again tonight.
Now a handoff to Ellis. Ellis hit at the line of scrimmage, fights forward. He's going to get a yard or 2 when should have been none. This kid is tough. He is strong. You can tell he spends a little bit of time in the weight room with the big hogs.
Yeah, they ask him to do a lot as a linebacker, as a running back. Right there, he had Tag Gubler around him as well as Aiden Anea, and both of them were wrapped. It was a perfect form tackle for both defenders, and he was still able to stay upright for just a moment. But you're okay with those 1-yard gains if you're Snow Canyon and you're trying to contain a back like Ben Ellis, especially after such a tough week against Ridgeline, who has a phenomenal running back. I think he had about 250 yards on the Snow Canyon D. So
second down and 9. Send a man in motion, hand it to Ellis. Ellis, this time they got him early. And if you want to get a guy who is strong, a guy who runs for a lot of after rack yardage, you got to get him around the ankles early. That time Drake Kelly in early, got Ellis around the ankles, and he actually lost a yard for the first time in this game. Lost yardage.
And now, if you're Snow Canyon's defense, you get someone like Ellis off the field because he isn't as valuable in 3rd and long situations.
Right.
And you get to change your defense, maybe be a little more aggressive. Drake Kelly has been one of the few Warriors who has been able to solo tackle Ellis consistently.
So they take Ellis off the field. In at running back is number 13. That is Ryan Hill. And the quarterback, Lunt, wants to throw. Throws deep to the left side. Again, going the deep ball. And this one is thrown out of bounds. There was some incidental contact, guys with their legs tangled up. But the ball, I think, a yard or so out of bounds. No chance to catch it. And it looks like the Reds are going to have to punt the ball.
Let's give some love there to Kyle Kennedy, number 17, coming in for Snow Canyon. I think that was great coverage regardless. Even if Lunt would have had time to set his feet and put the amount of air he wanted underneath that ball, it probably wouldn't have ended up complete. But Kyle Kennedy certainly made him rush that a little bit, so he was able to beat his man on the edge.
So 4th down and 10 for Cedar. Late running a man out there. Looks like they are going to punt the football. Warner, and I believe that is not Esplin over there, is it? On the far side. No, that is Hill that's going to return the kick. Ball is short, though, bounces at the 20 and goes backwards. But punters have had a rough break in this game. Two punters had good kicks that you would think on the turf would roll another 10, 15 yards. Both kicks hit on the nose of the football and bounce backwards. So Snow Canyon will take over with no return at their own 23-yard line. By the way, our game brought to you in part by Fabulous Freddy's. You'll hear us mention the Fabulous Freddy's first down. Hey, Fabulous Freddy's is your favorite hometown full-service car wash in 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah Fabulous Freddy's locations. One right there on Bluff Street, North Bluff Street, across from the radio station, and one over there on River Road. Which one do you go to? Rustin, you the River Road guy or are you the Bluff Street guy?
You know, it really depends on where I'm at. Mostly River Road, because it's a little closer to home. Every time I've moved, and I've moved about 3-4 different times since I've been here, AG, River Road always seems to be the closest. But it's really nice to have something over there on Bluff, especially, you know, during when it's college time, to have one right by the campus there. It's a good situation.
By the way, the kick, there was actually a false start or illegal motion penalty on Cedar. And so they're going to make them re-kick it. Snow Canyon with the hopes that they can either get a run back or at least get a better field position on the kick. So it'll be 4th down and now 15. They'll re-kick it. Kicker takes his time, and it is blocked. The defender got a hand on it. Was that Kelly again? Somebody got it. Snow Canyon, it's a foot race for the ball. They fall on it at about the 10-yard line, and a big break by the special teams of Snow Canyon.
That was Tag Gubler, AG, got his hand on it. And I was watching this play unfold. Cedar had 3 blockers in front of the punter. Gubler was the only one who got through, and I was like, 3 guys should be able to handle this. Not the case. Gubler pushes his man back, blocks the punt, and it is recovered by Snow Canyon. And making the recovery was number 34, who dove on that ball, Tegan Whitehead.
Yeah, big special teams play. Whitehead tried it at first to scoop it up and go. He couldn't get a hold of the football, ended up falling on it. It was 4th down anyway. It would have been their ball. But now Snow Canyon with the first break of the game. They take over in the Red Rock Real Estate red zone at about the 12-yard line. Warriors special teams getting it done. I know you wrote that on your big play of the game, right? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I got to mark that down.
We'll give you some score updates here in a minute. Right now, Snow Canyon knocking on the door. Quarterback runs a little swing pass, caught out there by Jensen. He's got room to the 10, and he slipped. He got tackled by the turf monster. Looked like he might have scored a touchdown, but some invisible football player tackled him there, Rustin.
Once he got inside the 10, he just Daniel Jones'd it. That's a tough situation. There was no one stopping him. The closest Red who was trying to turn the corner and catch up to him was Parker Allen, and he wasn't going to get there. And a little bit of help from the turf.
So it'll be 2nd down. They try a run with Jensen this time after he gained 4 and what maybe could have been a touchdown. The run on 2nd down is no gainer, and it's going to be 3rd down now for Snow Canyon. Got to capitalize here, Russ, and you cannot come away empty-handed. Got to at least get 3, hopefully 6 or 7 for the Warriors after blocking the punt.
Hey, we said it. Special teams have seemed to play a role in every game this year, and right now a chance to play a major role here early on in the 2nd quarter. 6 minutes, 28 seconds over there on Nets on Fire clock. You're right, though. You definitely want to capitalize.
3rd down and 7. Man in motion right to left. Quarterback Johnson wants to pass, throws deep right left side. It is caught. Will Warner on the deep post, and a touchdown perfectly delivered by Johnson. But hold everything. There is a yellow hanky on the field. So hold there. Don't play the fight song just yet, folks. Yeah, it's going to be on the offense. And, Old Rustin here started to write it down, and it was a beautifully executed play, but they're going to call holding on the Warriors. Spot foul. That's going to come all the way back to the 22-yard line. So 3rd and 7, you throw a TD pass, and doesn't count.
Well, and this is, a couple of plays after Jensen probably had a touchdown run, catching it out of the backfield where he ended up getting tripped up. So two what you thought would have been Snow Canyon touchdowns, now you're all of a sudden out of the Red Rock Real Estate red zone.
Big play, 3rd down and about 20. Johnson back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Little QB draw. Runs to the right side. Breaks a tackle to 15. Now he's gang tackled at about the 11-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down, probably about 9, 4th and 8 maybe for Snow Canyon if they're thinking about going for it. Or do you try a field goal here? It's on the right hash mark.
Well, I don't think Snow Canyon's really been a field goal team all year. They haven't made one, let alone I'm not even sure if they've attempted one. So Snow Canyon probably going to go for it in this type of situation. But the good news is Hunter Johnson did get back to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, passed it a little bit after that penalty. So a lot more manageable 4th down here. And they still have an opportunity to get a first before the goal line. It is not touchdown
at about
or
the
bust.
2. The first down marker is about the 2. They have the ball at the 11. So 4th down and 9 from the 11-yard line. Johnson back to pass, looking. Here comes the pressure. Throws it after the scramble. It's caught at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Jordan Wade.
Jordan Wade with the score. Johnson dropped, had time, and you have to give some credit to the Snow Canyon offensive line because Parker Allen was trying to get into the backfield. Great cleanup from the left tackle. Johnson able to release, find Wade for the score. Snow Canyon, after all of that back and forth, they capitalize.
Yeah, ends up being, what was that, an 11-yard TD pass from Johnson to Jordan Wade, number 8. Wade was running kind of a rub play, the crossing pattern, right just maybe 3, 4, 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, managed to escape, make the catch, and then it was just about clear sailing from there. The Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point is good. 5:17 to go on our We Win scoreboard. Snow Canyon has retaken the lead. It's 14-7 back in 1 minute. Backup quarterbacks in that game as both starters injured last week. Right here, it's 14-7. Snow Canyon on top as a kickoff is taken by Warren, and he returns it across the 30 to about, they're going to spot it, I think, at the 32 maybe.
So both touchdowns tonight for Snow Canyon. Hunter Johnson first and foremost found Jake Hill for the score. Initially, what was that?
Six-yard TD
pass.
pass.
6-yard TD, and then follow that up with the Jordan Wade 11-yard touchdown. That's going to bring Hunter Johnson's total on the year in terms of touchdowns to 8 touchdowns, 1 interception.
And you know what? He did a good job on the last touchdown just now of stepping up into the pocket, kind of let the pressure go by, stepped up into the pocket, but smart enough to keep the play alive instead of just running it, kept the play alive and was able to toss it to Wade for the 6 points.
Didn't really let the pressure phase him. In the red zone, it becomes that much more intense. Didn't let it get to him.
Hand off to Ellis. Ellis is hit early, but somehow, again, the big tank finds a way to get a yard or so. Snow Canyon, great penetration on the play. It wasn't Kelly this time, but instead they got somebody in the backfield, and Ellis was able to get just one.
And we've seen a bit of a pattern right now from Cedar. Couple runs with Ellis, see what they can pick there, and then when Lunt does throw, they've let him go deep a couple different times, not afraid to take a shot downfield with some of these speedy receivers.
Most notably, number 11, Demario Warren, the junior wideout. Closest to us right now as they come out with 4 wideouts on 2nd and 9. Quarterback with the play action, looking left side for Warren. Now he's in trouble, and Lunt is going to go down. 2-3 Warriors there. Who was the first one to make the contact,
I think the
Russell?
first one there was Anea, number 49. We've called his name a couple times, been in the backfield a couple times on some of these assisted tackles on Ellis. That time, give him the sack.
So Anaya with the sack, but really maybe only a half sack because he did get some help from his mates.
Yeah, I think 70 was there as well, AG. Other Warrior getting his gloves on the pass.
That is Phoenix Oliver. 3rd down and 15 now, loss of 6 on the sack, and now Lunt pretty obviously is going to have to throw the ball. Snow Canyon shows blitz. He's in trouble. Little jump pass over the middle. Might be picked. It is tipped away, nearly intercepted by Cole Warner. It does fall incomplete. And Lunt that time under pressure tried to get it to Braden Street, but no chance.
It was Kyle Kennedy again. Kennedy does not have a sack, but that is back-to-back possessions that have ended on 3rd down because Kyle Kennedy has forced the quarterback into a tough throw. So a big reason why the Warrior offense is getting ready to head back onto the field is number 17, Kyle Kennedy. Worked the right edge the prior drive and then worked the left edge this one.
Our game brought to you in part by Sports Clips. It's good to be a guy. Walk-ins are always welcome. Ask for the MVP treatment at 2 Southern Utah Sports Clips. Like I said, it's good to be a guy. Low snap, but the punter gets it up, and a very high kick. Ball is caught at the 29-yard line. Warner trying to get to the outside to the 35 and thrown out of bounds about the 41-yard line. Warriors with a 7-point lead, and now the offense with 3.5 minutes to work with, a chance to maybe get one more maybe TD before the half.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of time right now for Snow Canyon. And the way things have been working, they've had a healthy pass of both run. Healthy mix, let's go with that, of both run and pass. And they'll probably be able to continue to do the same. They're not in a situation right now where it has to be pass after pass, decent field position. Things are working well. The offensive line right now is kind of winning that battle in the trenches. It looks like Drake Kelly will start this drive at the running back spot.
1st down and 10 for the quarterback, Hunter Johnson. Fakes a little screen, maybe wasn't there, so he runs it himself to the left side to the 45-50, 55, or 45-40. There isn't a 55, unless you're in Canada. And inside the 40-yard line, and he is knocked down there.
There's a flag, AG.
Flag, and also, I believe, an injury on the play. The injury would be Johnson. He's up, though.
And what happened there, I was watching Jordan Wade throw the block in front of Johnson. Said, wow, he's got a blocker in front, and just barely when the defender tried to separate, you saw Wade pull some of that jersey immediately after the yellow flag hits the ground.
So Johnson went down, got up, went back down, and is going to have to sit for at least one play after the 1st down run. But again, you're right, there's going to be a flag on the play.
Hopefully
downfield.
Just one play.
Yeah, he's still down. He's still down.
We've dealt with too many injuries. One injury is always too many, but the quarterbacks this year have been taking an absolute
I'm trying to think,
beating.
hasn't every team except for maybe Hurricane lost their quarterback for at least a little bit?
For a moment, yeah. I mean,
Pineview is on their 3rd stringer right now, and Sawyer, it turns out, he's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
But they're on their 3rd stringer right now. I know Crimson and Desert Hills both on their backups.
And Crimson is, they had Hanson go down, and then even their backup in Kell went down for a second, a hand injury they thought it was, and they were down to Gunnar Orr for a second. And so it's been tough. And right now Johnson is walking around on the sideline, which is a good sign. By
the way, the backup quarterback is the starting running back normally, Devin Jensen. So Jensen will come in at Q. I believe that are they going to keep Kelly out at running back?
Yep.
Drake Kelly. So Jensen and Kelly at not the starting backfield we thought. Jensen fakes it. They run a little screen to the left side to Wade, but maybe Jensen a little bit adrenaline for his first play at quarterback. Threw it too hard and high, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, and Jensen will come back to the sideline. Johnson already over there talking with Will Warner. I think the last, as much as Jensen probably wants to get that attempt to throw that ball one more time, I think you're okay with seeing number 18 go back out on the field.
So incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10. By the way, the holding penalty just made it back out to 1st down and 10 is basically what happened.
Yeah.
So it's 2nd down and 10 now. Johnson, after one play out for an injury, is back out there with trips to the right side. Hunter Johnson, the quarterback, with Drake Kelly behind him. Back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Gets a pass away deep to the middle, and a lot of contact, but no flag as the ball falls incomplete. Johnson was trying for Logan Mendenhall, who's had some of his own injury issues this year.
That's the first time he's looked Mendenhall's way tonight, but double coverage for Cedar really wasn't much of a hope. The Reds brought some pressure that time. Drake Kelly had to pick up one of the rushers there. One Cedar guy was able to possibly get through, may have rushed that throw. Either way, the Reds are a team that can dial it up every so often. They have multiple sacks in that win against Canyon View. Multiple guys this year who have a sack to their name. The guys like Parker Allen, Matt Villareau have multiple sacks. Ben Ellis has one for himself. Bryson Bennett, another big name. So Reds can dial up some QB heat when they need to.
3rd down and 10. Big play for Johnson. Straight drop. Looks left side. Little curl pass caught right near the 1st down marker by Cole Warner. I think he got it as he stayed in bounds, was able to grab an extra yard because when he first caught it, I don't think he had the first, but Warner nudges it forward for a 1st down into Cedar territory. By the way, real quick, couple of score updates for you. Pineview 21 and Hurricane nothing in the first half. Get this, Dominic McKenzie, he only has 2 catches for 166 yards and 2 scores. And over there at Desert Hills, at Crimson rather, the Desert Hills Thunder trail the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs 7-3 that game in the 2nd quarter. Right here, we've got a 1st down and 10 as they try a little dive play up the middle for Drake Kelly. He gets about 5, and it actually looked like a harmless play, but he got 5 yards.
That was a big hit, too. Tell Hershey and Drake Kelly collided.
A little get floored, big hit.
Yeah, it was.
Get Floor Construction has homes for sale or specializes in remodeling your existing home. Call Christian Jensen with Get Floored today at 773-2667 or go to getflooredsouthernutah.com. Long pass, right side. Got a man out there. Fight for the football, and it is caught. Great catch on the right side for Snow Canyon High School. In a jump ball situation, Jake Hill, was that Jake or Wade?
It was, yep.
Jake Hill takes it away. One wears 6, the other wears 8. And when their jersey gets kind of bunched up, it's hard to tell whether it's a 6 or an 8. But Jake Hill with the grab, and now Red Rock Real Estate red zone attempt for Snow Canyon at the 9-yard line. Johnson looks left, throws middle. Ball caught, easy money. Touchdown, Warriors. That was Logan Mendenhall with his first TD of the year.
Mendenhall's first score of the year was set up perfectly by a grab from Jake Hill, which was set up by a catch from Will Warner. It was just perfect. That entire drive for Snow Canyon, everything went right. They were able to march down the field in a good amount of time. They got this ball back with under 4 minutes, just barely under 4 minutes. There's still 2 minutes, 13 seconds on the clock.
A minute 17 is all it took to score on that drive. Pinpoint passing by Hunter Johnson. It's now 20-7 with a Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point coming up. Kick is no good. It's partially blocked, and so it'll be a 20-7 count right now. 2:13 left on our We Win scoreboard. We'll be back in 1 minute. I didn't see the kick. Was it blocked or was it just no good? Scoring in this game, 3 touchdowns for the Warriors. They have a 20-7 lead. We'll talk about the scoring plays in just a second. Big run back for Cedar down the left side to the 30, 35, 40, and finally pushed out of bounds. Big hit, a little get floored hit maybe a little bit late, huh?
Yeah.
The end of that play.
That's what the yellow flags tell me over there on the sideline. Not one, not two, I think three over there. They all flew as soon as Crenshaw took a massive hit out of bounds. That's Devin Crenshaw on the return for Cedar.
Touchdowns in this game, 3 of them for Snow Canyon, all of them through the air. Johnson to Hill from 6 yards, Johnson to Jordan Wade for 11 yards, and Johnson to Logan Mendenhall for 9 yards. That's why they lead at 20-7. Actually, the only score for Cedar was through the air as well, as Lunt hit Demario Warren from 45 yards. Now you throw on that personal foul to the end of a really good run back, and Cedar is going to come out with 2:04 left with excellent field position at the Snow Canyon 41-yard line.
This is their best starting field position of this ball game.
Remember, their touchdown came when they started their own 2.
Yep, at their own 2. So
first down and 10 Reds at the 41 of Snow Canyon, down by 13. They're thinking, let's get some points before halftime.
And they got plenty of time to do so. 2 minutes, 4 seconds over on our Nets on Fire clock.
Quarterback sends a man in motion. Hands to the sweep guy, and he's in big trouble in the backfield. Snow Canyon sniffed it out as they tried to fly sweep to Tell Hershey, and Hershey's thinking next time, hey, don't give me the ball when there's a whole bunch of green jerseys over there, okay? He loses a yard.
And Snow Canyon's front has been aggressive tonight. Really, the entire defense has. Other than that drive that they took the length of the entire field, Snow Canyon's defense has been in control.
Second down and 11. They let the clock roll now to a minute and a half left in the half. Again, they send the running back in motion, or the slot man. They throw deep ball over the left side, and it is intercepted at the 20. Easy pick by the safety. He's looking for the big run back. That's Mendenhall to the 25-30. Tries to get outside 30, 35, and finally goes out of bounds as Drake Kelly with a big blindside hit at the end of the play. That's a get-floored hit right there by Kelly.
He absolutely depleted someone in pursuit of Mendenhall. First and foremost, what a pick. Had the ability to get out, rise above, and snag that football. And now Snow Canyon with another chance to score. Big situation for this Warrior defense. And I want to point something out. We cannot, when you look at the stats, it says Snow Canyon gives up about 20 a game. And their wins this year, they held Cypress to 12, they held Morgan to 7. The only reason that stat is as flawed as it is because Ridgeline put up 42. So normally when Snow Canyon's locked in, they're locked in, and a great pick from Mendenhall.
All right, we're going to take, there's a timeout, Scott Gibson, an Intercap Lending timeout. We're going to take a 30-second break to those down the line. 30-second break. It's 20-7, back in 30. Welcome back. Snow Canyon at home on homecoming, taking on Cedar. They lead at 20-7, the Warriors do, over the Reds. First down and 10 after the interception by Logan Mendenhall. He's got a TD catch and a pick now in this game. First down and 10. Do you try for more? You got a 13-point lead. Looks like it.
Do.
Johnson back to pass. Little quick hitch on the left side. Easy catch and a first down as Jordan Wade. A little button hook. Man, that's easy money. That's like taking candy from a baby or maybe picking cherries off the tree right there. He picks up about 15 yards.
That puts him into enemy territory now on the red side of the field with still a minute, 9 seconds. And with the big plays we've seen, the Warriors were about at this spot when they unleashed an absolute bomb to Jake Hill, which set up the Mendenhall touchdown.
And that play only took 5 seconds. 1:09 on the clock. Johnson has 3 TD passes already. Can he get another before halftime? Wants to pass, straight drop, lots of time, looking. Now he's going to take off on the left side. A lot of room to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, and they hit him low, and as he goes out of bounds at about the 30. Looks like he's okay. He twisted his ankle around, but he's going to be all right. And another nice pickup, looks like 16 yards on the scramble by Hunter Johnson.
a lot of credit has to go to Johnson there. As a young quarterback, when you drop, you're in a 2-minute drill situation, under a 2-minute drill situation. You have some protection. You might try to force something there. Instead, Johnson realizes that he has plenty of room to run, takes off, and makes it a lot more manageable here with just barely under a minute left.
Warriors first down, ball at the about the 30. Johnson to pass again. Here comes the pressure. Throws it over the middle. Ball is caught by Brooks Esplin. Esplin breaks the tackle to 25, down inside the 20, into Red Rock Real Estate red zone. The slant pass, deep slant, skinny post to Brooks Esplin.
And we're seeing the strength of the Snow Canyon receiver core. It's Warner, it's Esplin, it's Hill, it's Wade, who has multiple different guys getting it done.
Clock starts as they set the ball. First down and 10 from the 19. Johnson gets a snap, looks left side, not there, looks again. Now he throws a deep ball, and he actually threw that one out of the end zone and incomplete. It'll be second down and 10 with 33 seconds left in the half.
And you're okay. Stops the clock. You've done what you've had to do. You've got yourself within the Red Rock Real Estate red zone, giving yourself an opportunity to score.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. You know, nothing to worry about there. As a young quarterback, that's actually a very smart play. By the way, Snow Canyon hasn't had much, Pineview hasn't had much offense in that game, all passing 173 yards, but no rushing in the game. And actually, their quarterbacks only attempted 4 passes, but they lead 21-0 over Hurricane on our Hershey's Hardware scoreboard. Second down and 10 here from SC. Johnson back to pass, looks left, throws the ball underneath. The ball is caught by Wade inside the 10, down to the 7, down to the 5, and finally pulled down inside the 5 at the 4. They'll stop the clock momentarily to move the chains. It'll be first down and goal to go, and I believe Snow Canyon will use a timeout. They do. Oh, hold everything. It's a holding penalty. I got so excited on the nice catch and move by Wade. Bring it all back.
And what's so hard about that, I was just about to comment on how powerful this offensive line has been all game long, and one flag's not going to take that away. They're absolutely deserving of it. Cedar has had a hard time busting through that line.
We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. Timeout on the field. 20-7 is our score. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Sunset Flooring, family owned and operated since 1991, are St. George's flooring and window covering experts. No job is too big or too small. From new installs to remodels, our helpful and experienced staff can show you a variety of flooring and window covering options to fit your budget and give you the look you want. Visit our showroom, call, or visit us at sunsetflooring.net to schedule your free in-home estimate. Sunset Flooring in St. George. Let us help you make your house a home.
Utah is a place to connect with loved ones, and JRI can help you ensure that connection by protecting yourself, your family, and your assets. JRI Insurance is a team of insurance specialists dedicated to providing the best possible products, pricing, and services available, including great rates for families with teens, with locations in Payson, Saratoga Springs, West Valley, and Cedar City. JRI is proud to represent.
Johnson back to pass late in the first half, throws a corner pattern, tried to get to Esplin, but threw it wide of him. That'll bring up a 3rd and long, but more importantly, Russin, 18 seconds left in the first half, and the Warriors facing a 3rd down and very long.
And if you're the Cedar Reds right now, your defense has been able to tighten up a smidge. You got help from a penalty due to Snow Canyon's offensive line, but you'll consider it a small victory if you can go to half only down 13. Considering the Warriors were just in the red zone a mere little while ago, it would be a small victory for the Reds if they can hold Snow Canyon to just 20. Warriors trying to say something else.
Big play here, 3rd down and 22. Now a little confusion, and we can have a delay of game or a timeout. Timeout this time by the defense. Cedar takes a timeout. We'll take let's do 30 seconds. We don't want to miss anything. 30-second timeout along the network line. We'll be right back.
Sunset Flooring, family owned and operated since 1991, are St. George's flooring and window covering experts. No job is too big or too small. From new installs to remodels, our helpful and experienced staff can show you a variety of flooring and window covering options to fit your budget and give you the look you want. Visit our showroom, call, or visit us at sunsetflooring.net to schedule your free in-home estimate. Sunset Flooring in St. George. Let us help you make your house a home.
Our score right now with 18 seconds left in the first half on homecoming here at Snow Canyon is 20-7 on our We Win scoreboard. Our game brought to you in part by Team D Auto. Our touchdowns today are brought to you by Team D Auto. Team D won't be beat. Go see the local boys, Jason and Parker, at Team D Auto, 488 East St. George Boulevard, or go to teamdautosales.com. Big play here for the Warriors. Trying to get some more points before halftime. Running out of time on 3rd down and long now. Johnson back to pass. Throws deep over the middle. Ball is caught right at the goal line and held on to. Touchdown Warriors.
Ooh, that was one of those passes right down the middle where the receiver, the guy, guarantee you Warner heard footsteps, and he took a shot at the end, and he still held on to the football. Not only did he get himself open, he managed to bring that ball in for the Snow Canyon score. What a pass, what a grab. Snow Canyon adding to that lead.
I believe the TD was 31 yards, the distance on it. And what a throw by Hunter Johnson right on the money. And you're right, Cole Warner got the TD. He knew he was going to take a hit. He stayed with it and got the TD. The extra point is up and good, brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth. And with 12 seconds left in the half, the lead is now 27-7. Warriors on top. We're going to keep it right here as we go get ready for the kickoff. Against Snow Canyon, 27-7. And by the way, that is the 4th touchdown pass of the game for Hunter Johnson. Again, this one from 31 yards out. That's the longest one of the game for Hunter. But again, 4 TD passes so far in the game. Will Warner. Did I say Cole? All right, Will Warner. Got it. Cole's his brother, right? Yeah, Will. Sorry, Cole. Sorry, Will. Touchdown for Will. And again, he knew, Rustin, he knew he was going to take a shot right at the goal line.
Absolutely.
He saw it coming. It was in his vision. He still held on to the football.
Had one defender to his left side, so slightly behind him, and then someone coming over to help who he could very much see, took a shot and did so proudly, jumped right back up and celebrated the score for Will Warner. He's had a great game. Multiple Warrior receivers have had a great game tonight.
Kickoff now for Snow Canyon is a bit of a pooch kick as they try to thwart any kind of big run back for Cedar, and they do. Another get-floored big hit on the impact there. Cedar will take over at their 27 with just 7 seconds to go in the half. Probably going to see a kneel down, and the Reds will go lick their wounds and try to figure out what to do in the second half.
A solid stop there from Will West. He was the one who made the tackle for Snow Canyon. And right now, if you're the Reds, you know you're getting the football back to start the third quarter, right? Snow Canyon was the one who received it. So you have that to build on, but with 7 seconds left, really, like you said, you just kind of eat it and hope that the third quarter treats you better.
They're going to give their receivers a big cushion. I don't think Cedar will try anything cute here from their own 27. Maybe you hand to Ellis and see what happens. Again, the clock says 7 seconds. Quarterback, Coden Lunt, does hand to Ellis. Ellis right up the middle will fight for yards, but he'll be body slammed at about the 30. Gain of 3, and that will do it for half number 1 here on a warm homecoming night at Snow Canyon High School. The home team is pretty hot themselves. They lead it by a count of 27-7. We'll take a break. When we come back, we've got our Info West halftime report coming up. We'll take a look at the Wilkinson stat line. We'll give you Hearst Ace Hardware scoreboard updates. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. 2-minute timeout. Again, it's halftime from Snow Canyon High School on our We Win scoreboard. The Warriors 27, the Cedar Reds 7.
This is Dr. Brandon Burke from Burke & Beckstrom Orthodontics. We are humbled and honored to have been nominated for the Best of Southern Utah category for orthodontists. We thank you for the privilege it has been to provide Southern Utah with the best possible orthodontic care for over 10 years now. Our mission is to help everybody we come in contact with become the best version of themselves, and the smile is an important part of that process. This is what it means to smile forward. So it is with sincere humility that I say it would mean the world to us if you would take a few seconds and use the link below to vote Burke & Beckstrom Orthodontics as the best orthodontist in Southern Utah. Thank you, and smile forward with Burke & Beckstrom Orthodontics. This is Dr.
The clouds in the sky seem less noticeable than the cloud connected to your phone. Data is quickly becoming the new currency in our society, and all the information you or your business can hold is priceless. So why not store it, secure it, and protect it? That's where we come in. Our job is to assist you in ways that help you to facilitate your business. Tonic One Data Center redefines the meaning of data protection.
We're on. All right, we're on. A little inside peek there. Matt, when Matt goes thumbs up, that means you're on. I learned that now. So thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. Andy and Rustin live from Snow Canyon High School. It is homecoming here. That means a little bit longer halftime, but we've got a lot of good stuff queued up and ready to go for you on the InfoWest halftime report. Again, thanks so much to InfoWest, the internet people, for the fastest internet in southern Utah and a local support. Trust the internet people at InfoWest. Go to Infowest.com to sign up today. Yeah, we all have the internet. Go to Infowest.com and sign up. Rustin, before we get into some numbers and things and even score updates, give me your impressions of the first half. It felt like a really close game for about, the first quarter and the first couple of minutes of the second quarter, but the Warriors really exploded in the second quarter.
And they really did in the second quarter, and that explosion hasn't really been, if you look at the run game, there's not one play that I can think of, AG, where Drake Kelly or Jensen just broke off a massive run, right? They've been small 3-yard, 5-yard pickups, and I use small loosely there. But it's been so effective in putting the Cedar defense on notice that it's allowed the passing game to rise to another level. And now when we're seeing Johnson drop back to pass, it's elevated from 5-yard completions to 10-yard completions. And now all of a sudden we're seeing 35-yard completions and 45-yard completions from Snow Canyon. They have completely opened up their entire offensive playbook because they were able to establish the run. And now the receivers are really able to just work their way into it. It also helps when you have a plethora of names who can run great routes. I mean, from Hill to Wade to
Jake Hill,
Warner.
Jordan Wade, Caden Esplin, Will Warner. I mean, they've got, and we talked about it in our media day.
Yeah.
This group of receivers for Snow Canyon. Now, again, probably the best receivers in the region, especially number 11 over at Pineview, Dominic McKenzie. But as a group, I really like what Snow Canyon is doing. That receiving core is very good.
They're very good, and a lot of credit deserves to go to them. I also think we have to give some props to Snow Canyon's defense, who, after the first drive in which Cedar started on their own 2 and ended up getting down the field and scoring, the Warrior defense has absolutely rose to another level. We have the interception from Mendenhall. They've been able to put some pressure on Lunt. But a big thing is Snow Canyon's defense, they gave up 12 to Cypress, they gave up 7 to Morgan, and so far only 7 to Cedar, and that was on the Reds' first drive. They have not really came close to scoring since then. So a lot of credit to the guys on the defensive side, Drake Kelly, Logan Mendenhall, Brooks Esplin, all getting it done right now for the Warriors.
The SC is on fire here down there in the end zone here at Snow Canyon High School. The Pyromaniac's having himself a good time down there in the corner. Looks good, though. The SC is burning brightly on this homecoming night. It's the InfoWest Halftime Report. Let's talk stats now, brought to you by Wilkinson's. Hey, Wilkinson says, light it up, Region 10. Since 1946, Wilkinson's House of Lighting has been a fan of all Southern Utah sports, lights, fans, and fixtures. Hey, contractors and homeowners always welcome at Wilkinson's House of Lighting. They're across there from Fiesta Fun in St. George. Let's go over touchdowns first, and then maybe you can talk about some of the big plays that led to those touchdowns. Snow Canyon led early. Hunter Johnson hit Jake Hill, a little jump ball, corner pattern. Hill took it away and scored the touchdown. The extra point was good, made it 7-0. Let's see, 6 minutes later, Cedar starting at their own 2. They put together a 98-yard drive with Lunt hitting Demario Warren from 45 yards out for the touchdown. It was an interesting catch, Rustin, because he caught it, bobbled it, kind of fumbled it in the air along the way, and then caught it again and somehow stepped into the end zone.
Couldn't tell if he caught it, couldn't tell if he stepped out of bounds, couldn't tell if he walked into the end zone, and ended up being the last of those. Touchdown Cedar.
7-7 was the score at the end of the first quarter. Midway through the second quarter, Hunter Johnson started to really warm up. The junior quarterback hit Jordan Wade, stepped up into the pocket, hit Wade on a crossing pattern for 11 yards. That made it 14-7 with 5:17 to go in the first half. Hunter Johnson hit his third TD pass of the day when he found Logan Mendenhall on a skinny post, a 9-yarder. That made it 20-7. Extra point was no good. And then the final TD came with 12 seconds to go in the half when Johnson hit Will Warner from 31 yards, a deep post on 3rd and 21, a 31-yard touchdown pass. Warner with the concentration, caught the ball, took the hit, scored the touchdown. That made it 27-7. What stood out to you among the scoring plays?
Out of all those scoring plays, a lot of them were set up by common themes. You talked about Will Warner's 31-yard touchdown. It was set up off a Logan Mendenhall interception. You talk about Logan Mendenhall's touchdown grab. He had his interception and touchdown both with 2 minutes in the second quarter. That was set up by really a sack from Anea on one possession, and then number 17 for Snow Canyon forcing an errant pass, and Kyle Kennedy, who back-to-back times basically made Cedar punt the football away. So all these things were set up because of solid defensive possessions for Snow Canyon, at least their last couple scores. Prior to that, Jordan Wade's 11-yard touchdown set up by a Tag Goobler blocked punt, which was just as amazing as the score itself. So Snow Canyon doing all the little things that has made life that much easier for their offense. You may look at the box score and say Warriors are rolling offensively. It's a whole team effort tonight that's allowing them to get into the end zone here in this first half.
And speaking of that Wilkinson's box score, let's talk team stats. 230 yards for Snow Canyon in the first half of this game. They've held Cedar to 108 yards. Of those 230, 163 of those were passing, 67 rushing. Cedar has 39 rushing and 69 passing yards, most of those actually on one play. One turnover in the game. Cedar had an interception. It also had that blocked punt, which was a key play in this game. Conversions, 4 out of 8 for Snow Canyon on third downs, but maybe the biggest one of all, they've got for it twice on fourth down. One of them was a touchdown. They're 2 for 2 on fourth downs. That makes them 6 out of 10 on third and fourth down conversions. Cedar, meanwhile, is 2 of 5 on third, 1 of 2 on fourth, so 3 of 7 so far in this game. Let's talk individual stats now in the game. For Cedar, Lund is 5 of 8 passing for 69 yards. Remember, he hit his first 3 passes. Since then, just 2 out of 5. He does have a TD pass of 45 yards to Warren. Snow Canyon has held Ben Ellis to 22 yards rushing. And Russ, and if you talk about important stats in this game, the fact that they've held the workhorse, Ellis, to 22 yards is pretty big.
It's massive, absolutely a fantastic thing for this Warrior defense. You look at Ellis on the year, he's coming off a game against Canyon View Falcons in that Battle of Iron County where he put up 133 yards on only 16 carries, had a score on the season. He has 352 yards. And to think he's only put up 22 tonight when in the first game of region where they probably rely on him more than ever really shows that the Warriors' defensive front is going to work.
All right, talk about individual stats now for Snow Canyon. Hunter Johnson, 17 attempts in the first half. He's 12 out of 17, 163 yards. But how about this QB rating? He has 4 TDs, no interception. His QB rating is through the roof.
It is through the roof. And for him, he came into this game with 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. All of a sudden, he's hit that double-digit mark in touchdowns. He's got to be feeling pretty good. We already knew he was one of the more accurate quarterbacks in all of Utah 4A, probably in the state of Utah. And tonight, he's turned that in from an impressive box score to really just scores on almost every drive. When Snow Canyon's punted the football once?
Yeah, and Johnson, when he's not throwing it, has scrambled the ball well, too.
Yes.
He has 6 carries for 39 yards, averaging 6.5 yards per tote. And then look at these receiving totals. Brooks Esplin, 3 catches, 40 yards. 2 catches, 43 for Warner, 2 for 38 for Hill. Jordan Wade, 2 catches, 26 yards. Mendenhall has a TD catch, 5-yard grab by Jensen, and a 2-yard grab by Hickman. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different players have caught passes from quarterback Hunter Johnson.
which is we kind of talked about it when we did our keys to the game, AG. We said Cedar is really good at sharing the football. They got multiple receivers who can make multiple grabs. They did against Canyon View. Well, that's been Snow Canyon's story tonight all the way, and it's such a luxury to have multiple guys who you can plug and play. Sometimes Mendenhall's not on the field. Sometimes Warner's not on the field because you have multiple guys who can go out there, line up, and make something happen. And it's something that Snow Canyon knew they'd have coming into this year, and they really just wanted a quarterback who could capitalize on that, and Johnson has been exactly that, especially here tonight in their first region game of the season.
All right, going to take another 2-minute timeout. It is halftime homecoming here at Snow Canyon. Warriors feeling pretty good on homecoming night. They lead it by a count of 27-7. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. Back with more football. Warriors up by 20.
Ace is the place with a helpful hardware. See Hearst first this month for great deals on red hot buys at Hearst Ace Hardware. Make sure and get an Ace Rewards card for savings around the house, the yard, or the job site. Stop by Hearst General Store Ace Hardware, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Cedar City and St. George. Ace is the place with a helpful hardware. See Hearst first this month for great deals on red hot buys at Hearst Ace Hardware.
I think there's always options to treat your pain, and I would recommend to any patient who's dealing with chronic pain to be the squeaky wheel to get the grease. There's always more that we can do. Our whole goal is to get you better without surgery, but sometimes we need to operate as well.
And we work closely with surgeons when what we're doing isn't providing the amount of pain relief that the patient is hoping for. But we specialize in minimally invasive procedures, focusing mostly in the spine, but we also do work in other areas of the body.
With the knowledge that we can't help everybody, but we want patients to know that we're going to try to do our best to help them.
What is rewarding about working in this field? It's being able to help somebody get their life back.
This is Dr. Burke from Burke and Beckstrom Orthodontics. Did you know that you don't need a referral from your dentist to visit us? That's right. We offer complimentary consultations with no strings attached, no pressure, and no referral needed. We are often asked, what is the best age for me to take my child in to see you? We are in agreement with the American Association of Orthodontists and want to do the first orthodontic consultation at age 7. This will ensure that growth and development are normal and allow for preventive or corrective treatment to ensure that a small problem at a young age does not become a bigger problem later on. Give us a call or visit us online at burkeandbeckstromortho.com and learn how we can help you and your family smile forward. This is Dr. Burke from Burke and Beckstrom Orthodontics.
Welcome back. We're at halftime here at Homecoming, Snow Canyon High School. Andy and Rustin live from up here in the press box. Matt Hamlin pushing all the buttons here. Ken back in studio pushing all the buttons over there at KDXU. Thanks for tuning in tonight. By the way, tomorrow night on KDXU, we've got BYU football on the air. 8 o'clock pregame, 8:30 kickoff as the Cougars take on the University of Arizona. And they're not in Cougar Stadium. They're not down there in Tucson. They're actually in Las Vegas. They're closer to us than either one of those places down there at the Raiders' new stadium, Allegiant Stadium. To my knowledge, is this the first game played in Allegiant Stadium?
Other than the Raiders preseason game. They have one preseason game against Seattle. And then, of course, they had like the Garth Brooks concert. But as far as football goes, they've only had one football game, and that was the Raiders-Seahawks preseason.
And it didn't count. It was preseason for crying out loud. So, BYU, Arizona tomorrow night. The voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell, will be on the air here on KDXU starting at 8 o'clock pregame. Kickoff 8:30. Game will go, usually they go 3.5 hours, and then we'll have postgame too with Greg Wrubell. Cougars looking to get off to a 1-0 start. BYU is a 12.5-point favorite, according to Las Vegas, which is where they're playing. You should know, right?
You mean future Big 12 team BYU, right?
Could be. The news broke today again about BYU on the short list now of teams to be invited to the Big 12. It's not official yet, but they think that they're probably going to get an invite along with, let's see if I can remember, Houston, UCF, and
Cincy.
Who?
Cincy.
Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, huh?
Cincinnati. So
you were there.
Of course, the Big 12, a couple of weeks ago, Oklahoma and Texas said they're leaving the Big 12, going to the SEC. And so the Big 12, by the way, they had 10 teams in the Big 12 and 12 in the Big 10. That make no sense. But if Texas and Oklahoma leave and they invite these 4 teams, they'll be back to 12 teams in the Big 12.
Oh, we have to restore balance to the universe.
Very well said. Yeah. So last night, Utah beating Weber State 40-17 was the final score. Weird game in that Utah opened the game with a drive, scored a field goal on the ensuing kickoff. Weber State Rahim Shahid anyway scored a 100-yard kickoff return. It's 7-3. All of a sudden, lightning strikes.
Yeah.
They delay the game for I don't know how long it was. It was the full 45 minutes or something like that.
It was pushing an hour.
Pushing an hour. Anyway. Utah does restore order and win that game 40-17. Weber's a pretty good FCS team, so no shame there. But Utah wins that game, and SUU was also in action last night. T-Birds went down to Phoenix to take on ASU, actually Tempe technically, and 41-17 was the final. But when you consider Vegas had put that one as a 45-point spread, SUU covered by 11 points. So. Or by 21 points, yeah.
And that was their second week of football.
That's right.
Right? They played week 0, SUU did, so maybe a little fatigue is a factor, still able to cover. We'll give SUU credit there.
Let's bounce around the region a little bit on our Hearst Ace Hardware scoreboard. Again, it's the InfoWest halftime report. Right now, at the half, Snow Canyon leading Hurricane by a count of 21-0. The Pineview Panthers have scored 2 passing and 1 rushing touchdown in the game. Early on, Woods found number 11, Dominique McKenzie, from 80 yards out. A 2-point conversion was no good, so it was 6-0. Just a few minutes later, Keith Adams runs it in from 3 yards to make it 14-0 after a 2-point conversion. And then in the second quarter, Sawyer Woods finds, guess who? Number 11, Dominique McKenzie, from 86 yards out. That made it 21-0 after the extra point. That's where they sit right now at the half. By the way, Woods, 5 of 8 passing, 196 yards, and 166 of those to one guy, Dominic McKenzie.
Yeah, if you're Sawyer Woods right now and you look at that box score, 8 attempts, 196 yards, some quick math will tell you it's about 25 yards per completion, which sounds great, but compared to really the completions he's had tonight, that doesn't really do it justice. A lot of these passes have been big bombs for Pineview.
And we always talk about the offensive statistics, but a defensive standout in this game, Dylan Becker in the first half has 10 solo tackles, including a sack and a tackle for loss. Big game for Dylan Becker and the Pineview defense. They've got Hurricane shut out right now at the break.
And for the Tigers right now, you said it while we were covering the beginning of this, they marched down the field, put themselves in an opportunity to score behind Carter Ashby.
Got down to the 3-yard line.
Just faltered, and really it looks like they haven't been able to jump back since then. And for the Tigers, they started 2-0, first time since 2012. Their offense is kind of revamped, much more willing to pass the football with Ashby and Wright. And so far, just a tough start against probably one of the best teams in Utah 4A.
The other score from region play tonight, Desert Hills got a field goal in the first quarter to lead 3-0 over Crimson. Crimson has answered with an Easton Drew Bay 4-yard TD run. Extra point by Woolley is good. Right now at the half, actually just starting the third quarter, it is Crimson Cliff 7 and Desert Hills 3. Not surprised considering the quarterbacks are dinged up, Rustin, that we only have 10 points on the board in that one.
Well, we know that Noah Fui started the game over there out for Desert Hills. At least that's what I heard. Yeah, not there.
Fui, not Matalo. And by the way, actually I have some stats on him in the first half. 18 of 26, 181 yards and a pick. So he's playing.
So he is playing, and Crimson Cliffs, we know Hanson went down on an extra point
Broken
attempt.
Collarbone, by the way, for Chase.
Yeah, and the toughest part about that, too, is it was on an extra point. It was on a hold that he kind of bobbled, went off his hands, tried to make something happen, and took a hit. It's tough to lose your quarterback. It's even harder to do so in that way. But they have Kell that they're confident in, he has ability to run the football. Connor Kell is about as fast as they get out of the shotgun position. Great when it comes to quarterback draws. And then Gunnar Orr, who, remember, started Crimson Cliff's first varsity game a couple years ago at the quarterback spot. Him and Hanson were in the competition, and now things have kind of come full circle, too, where they can put him out there as well. But the big thing that stood out to me when I called Crimson Cliffs and Timpview last week without their starting quarterback, they were able to stay in that game because of two things: great defense and special teams plays. They were fantastic on kick return coverage, punt return coverage. They forced a couple muffs, were able to recover one, as well as blocked a punt, Jackson Griffiths in the end zone. So they have other things that will keep them in games when the offense isn't working. And right now, that 7-3 score you brought up doesn't look like either offense is really fully firing.
By the way, other scores from the other region in 4A. Logan is getting blasted by Highland, Idaho, 34-0. That game at halftime. Bear River losing. Bear River just entered the rankings, but they're down to Box Elder 14-6. Ridgeline is very good, and they're ranked number 2 right now. They lead Woods Cross 28-0. Green Canyon 21-7 over Morgan. Mountain Crest down 14-7 to Bonneville. Skyview, who defending state champs, ranked number 3. They're trailing right now 10-3 to Mountain Ridge. I don't even know where is Mountain Ridge a new school. I'm not even familiar with that one.
I'd say it's like an Idaho school or something, but the fact they have a logo makes me think that's a Utah school.
Yeah, they usually say that they're from another state too if they're on there. So, all right, we're going to take a final 1-minute timeout. We will be back with the second half. Warriors or Reds. It's 27-7 right now. We'll be right back. There's your strobes.
Did you know that you don't need a referral from your dentist to visit us? That's right. We offer complimentary consultations with no strings attached, no pressure, and no referral needed. We are often asked, what is the best age for me to take my child in to see you? We are in agreement with the American Association of Orthodontists and want to do the first orthodontic consultation at age 7. This will ensure that growth and development are normal and allow for preventive or corrective treatment to ensure that a small problem at a young age does not become a bigger problem later on. Give us a call or visit us online at birkenbeckstromortho.com and learn how we can help you and your family smile forward.
Ready for half number 2. Homecoming here at Snow Canyon High School. Maybe my favorite stat of the night, though. Hunter Johnson, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions. You want your touchdown to interception ratio to be about 3-1. How about 4-0? Little squib kick on the kickoff for Snow Canyon. They were trying to avoid the great athletes in the long returns. It recovered and picked up by Cedar at about the 35-yard line. That's where the Reds will start half number 2. What do you, if you're Josh Bennett, head coach of the Cedar Reds right now, you saw your team give up 3 touchdowns in the second quarter. What are you telling your guys?
I really think that you have to show a lot of confidence. I mean, first and foremost, you took your opening drive from your 2-yard line all the way downfield and it made something happen with it. So you know that you can score. The Warriors defense has just found a lot of confidence. You got to find ways to slowly chisel that off. Now, you've been trying to pound the rock with Ben Ellis, maybe going to somebody for just a little bit like a Ryan Hill, who's maybe more of a better pass catching back, trying to find looks out of the backfield. It's simple things.
Well, they go with Ellis right away. He's got a head of steam going around the left side. Maybe victory a little bit for Snow Canyon in that if you can get Ellis running sideways, you probably have a better chance of making a tackle, although having said that, he does pick up 3 or 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, you definitely have a much better chance of taking down Ellis if you're tackling him from the side than if he's coming straight towards you, because as a planted linebacker or lineman, he definitely can move you, put his shoulder pads underneath you and move you. So
Hearst State Hardware update, field goal by Desert Hills early third quarter. They have closed to within 1 point. 7-6 Crimson on top of D Hills. Run a little jet sweep, trying to get to the corner. No way, said the Snow Canyon Warriors, and Drake Kelly says, you are not running around me, young fella.
And that was number 6, Hardeman, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or sorry, no, that's Braden Street. Braden Street who got the carry. And that's what we were just talking about, just barely, is if you're Cedar, you want to try a couple different things to try to chisel this Warriors' defensive confidence down. They try it there, and Snow Canyon's still able to read it well.
Great speed from Drake Kelly, one of our media day guys, captain on this team. And now it's 3rd down and 11. And what you didn't need if you were Cedar was a 3-and-out to start the half, down by 20. Snow Canyon showing blitz. Bad snap. Quarterback down in the backfield. He was lucky just to get the football back. And it'll be 4th down and 20.
And coming in and cleaning that up for Snow Canyon was number 21, Landon Robinson. And for Landon, this is a guy who's had a fantastic defensive year. We need to be calling his name more. Leads Snow Canyon in tackles. That's going to be his 26th tackle, his first sack, if I'm not mistaken, for Landon Robinson.
Snow Canyon forces the 3 and out. Little help from a bad snap on that one, but it is 4th down and very long. 4th and 21. Back to punt is Cedar. Kick is away. And a catch stayed out of the 34-yard line out to the 40, left side to the 45-50, 45-40, cut back by Warner down to the 40-yard line before being pulled down. Will Warner, I did it again. Will Warner with a good return. Cole's his older brother.
And for Warner right now, it's special teams continuing to play a big role. You block a punt, leads to a touchdown. And right here, you put yourself with an ideal position to once again score. You're already in Cedar territory. After your defense gets it done, it's defense leading to special teams, leading the offense. Multiple different things.
Sounds pretty simple if you can execute it.
Yep.
1st down and 10 from the 40 of Cedar. Johnson back to pass, throws a little swing pass on the left side to Jensen. Cedar covered that one well.
Yep.
Give credit on the play to number 13 for Cedar as a great pursuit by Ryan Hill.
Hill was there as well as number 23. That might be Braxton Torres.
Gain of about a yard, 2nd down and 9. Johnson has been very efficient passing the football in this game, and he's going to throw here. Straight drop, looks to the right side. Guy is wide open, but he missed him. Just as I was praising how efficient he was, he had Brooks Esplin wide open, like nobody within 7 yards of him, and he threw it wide of him by 10 yards.
Which definitely isn't what he wanted to do. There's no doubt about that, but that's the type of quarterback he is. If he misses, chances are no one's going to catch the football. It's not often that you see him throw into tightly contested windows or tough spots. It's either his guy gets it or no one really has a chance.
Now 3rd and long, though, 3rd down and 9. Johnson with a straight drop. Cedar shows blitz. Throws it deep over the left side. Got a guy out there. It's caught Warner for a touchdown. 40 yards for the score.
And that was just pure speed from number 14, Will Warner. When he caught the football, the cornerback was a good, how many feet would you say behind?
Maybe 3 yards behind him. I mean, he just blew by him.
Just absolutely torched him. Johnson took the snap, knew exactly that Warner was going to have his man beat on the left sideline, wound up, delivered, and there's another connection between the two. That's just pure speed, AG.
I gave him an extra yard, technically a 39-yard touchdown pass from Johnson to Warner, and that is his 5th TD pass of the game. I want him on my fantasy football team. Extra point is up and good. Brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. Snow Canyon continues to roll on the We Win scoreboard. It's now 34-7. Now for the Snow Canyon Warriors. Ball sitting at the 8-yard line. Snow Canyon, if you missed some of our audio here on the radio, got an interception the second of the game by Mendenhall. Now the Warriors knocking on heaven's door inside the 10-yard line. Kelly, no. What happened there? A little fumble?
Yeah,
it was a fumble. The exchange between Kelly and Johnson might be the first mistake Hunter Johnson's made all game, huh?
It's the first mistake that Johnson's made all game, and you could do 50-50 there with him and Kelly, whatever it was. The ball ends up on the turf. Cedar recovers, and if you're the Reds right now, you needed that. Warriors threatened to score again, and they kind of just drop one in your lap.
Could we say that had they scored, this game was over, but now maybe Cedar has a little bit of a chance if they can move the football? We'll say that.
More of a chance, yes. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And right now for Cedar, even if you don't win this game, you want to polish this offense.
They try a run on the first play. Again, Snow Canyon has shut down Ben Ellis in the running game. Warriors defense has been stout up front. Gain of 1 yard on the play. I think they're averaging a little over a yard per carry so far in this contest.
Which, for those who have not been following the Reds all season, very uncharacteristic of this Reds team, and really ultimately Ellis, who's a big bruising back. Snow Canyon's defensive front has just closed everything off. If he goes to the outside, nothing. If he goes between the tackles, 2, 3, 4 Warriors around him almost instantly. It's the defensive line has gotten good push tonight for Snow Canyon.
By the way, there was an illegal motion penalty. Snow Canyon decides to take the penalty, so instead of 2nd and 9, it'll be 1st down and 15. Actually, 14 and a half because it's half the distance from the 9. So 1st and long for Cedar, and if they decide to throw out of this set, they'll be throwing from their own end zone.
And this does not look like an ideal spot if you're the Reds, but remember their one touchdown of the game came from them starting on their own 2.
That's right. 1st and long. Quarterback with the keeper, left side. Ball on the ground. Snow Canyon might have got the turnover back, and they do. Turnover, Cedar on the fumble by the quarterback, Lunt, recovered by Snow Canyon, and they give it right back after the Warriors were about to score and fumbled. Cedar says, here, take the football back.
And it was interesting because Lunt, after faking to Ellis, a couple guys went with Ellis. Lunt tried to go behind a blocker, almost bounced off of his blocker, and it was just an awkward spot when he took the hit. That ball not only fell to the ground, that thing popped up and spun forward for a little ways before it eventually hit the turf. So Snow Canyon getting back on top of it, and it's almost as if nothing ever happened.
Hearst Ace Hardware update. Pineview kicks a field goal. And now the Panthers lead 24-0. It was a 24-yarder by Austin Cogan. So midway through the third quarter, Pineview 24, Hurricane nothing. So Canyon tries to go to the back of the end zone, jump ball out there. Cedar defender didn't know where the ball was, but did the right thing. Stuck his hand up, got in the way, and the ball falls incomplete. 2nd down.
This is number 9, Kason Crandall, on the coverage there of Esplin. And that was just good defense from Cedar's secondary. Johnson kind of faked as if he was going to put the ball in Jensen's stomach. Didn't. Nobody bit. All the corners stayed exactly where they needed to be. Lived to fight another down as Snow Canyon's in the Red Rock Real Estate red zone.
2nd down, and let's see, ball at about the 10. Tried the end around to Wade. Got a momentum going, but couldn't get around the corner as he's pounded rudely out of bounds. Oh, I can't read that. You're showing me something in the dark, and I'm too old to read that, so you're going to have to tell me.
It's Bo Hickman, number 16.
That was Hickman on the carry? All right. Braxton's son. I did games when Braxton was here. Great baseball player in particular. Good football player, too. 6:12 left, third quarter. We've got a Scott Gibson Intercap Lending timeout on the field. We'll be back in 1 minute. Warriors up 27.
Represent Utah's insurance company, Bear River Mutual. Visit us at jriteam.com. Utah is a place to connect with loved ones, and JRI can help you ensure that connection by protecting yourself, your family, and your assets. JRI Insurance is a team of insurance specialists dedicated to providing the best possible products, pricing, and services available, including great rates for families with teens, with locations in Payson, Saratoga Springs, West Valley, and Cedar City. JRI is proud to represent Utah's insurance company, Bear River Mutual. Visit us at jriteam.com.
All right, let's go. Hearst Ace Hardware update over on ESPN, or you can, if you're watching, you can click on the feed for the Crimson Cliffs Desert Hills game. Right now, late third quarter, actually end of the third quarter, Crimson Cliffs leads Desert Hills by a count of 7-6, although I'm told that Desert Hills is knocking on the door. Looks like they've got it at about the 10-yard line of Crimson. So we'll see what happens there. It's a 7-6 Crimson lead. Pineview again has kicked a field goal against Hurricane in the third quarter. The Panthers lead the Tigers 24-0. And right here at Snow Canyon, homecoming night, Warriors playing well, 34-7 right now. Snow Canyon on top of Cedar, and they face a third down and goal from the 10.
Warriors have been good at converting these.
Johnson back to pass. Pressure is there. He underthrows his guy. It'll bounce in and be incomplete. That time, good pressure by Cedar made him throw it early.
Yeah, and we know this is a Reds team who has multiple athletes on that defensive front who can provide a little pressure. They've had a harder time against Snow Canyon's line tonight, who's done a good job. But so far in this red zone showing, they've really kind of held their own. Already recovered a fumble before the offense gave it back, and now an opportunity to try to force a stop here.
And apparently not confident with the field goal kicker. They are going to go for it on fourth down and goal from right at the 10-yard line. Johnson gets a low snap, looks in the corner, throws a slant instead. It is caught for a touchdown. Another TD for the Warriors.
And I think that's number...
It's either 8 or 6, right?
8 or 6.
It was Jordan Wade.
Yep.
Jordan Wade with the slant catch. What a delivery by quarterback Hunter Johnson. I mean, he has an 8. You know, in the 8, you got the top circle, the bottom circle. It hit Wade right in the middle of those two circles for a touchdown. It's now 40-7.
And for Snow Canyon, Cedar did such a good job for multiple minutes of trying to keep them out of there. But when you have that many talented receivers and are that close to the goal line, something's got to give. Wade with the score.
Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point. It's up and good, and we'll take a 1-minute timeout halfway through the third. All Warriors 41-7 on our We Win scoreboard.
Located in the disaster-safe zone of St. George, Utah, we have created a faster, friendlier, and more secure way to connect to you. The clouds in the sky seem less noticeable than the cloud connected to your phone. Data is quickly becoming the new currency in our society, and all the information you or your business can hold is priceless. So why not store it, secure it, and protect it? That's where we come in. Our job is to assist you in ways that help you to facilitate your business. Tonic Data Center redefines the meaning of data protection. Located in the disaster-safe zone of St. George, Utah, we have created a faster, friendlier, and more secure.
Welcome back. Snow Canyon up big on Cedar 41-7. Played really well. Try another little squibbed kick, and Cedar will have good field position again. Apparently, Coach Esplin saying, you know what, the only offense Cedar has is their kick returns. We're not going to let them do that to us.
Yeah, and they've really, ever since the second half started, they have not let Cedar return anything because it was Crenshaw who was doing the duties prior to that, and almost every time he'd get up to at least about the 40, and they've decided not to let that happen any longer.
By the way, Hearst Ace Hardware scoreboard update. Desert Hills takes a lead. Tyden Morris with a 2-yard run, and the Thunder lead Crimson at Crimson by a count of 12-7. Quick pass over the middle. Pass is complete. Nice job by the quarterback to get it over the big, tall lineman and complete it up the middle for a first down.
Braden Street on the grab for the Reds. A couple catches for number 6 tonight. And for Cedar, that's probably their best offensive play in a little bit of time, AG.
Yeah, they haven't had much offense since really the first quarter. So first down at 10 at the Snow Canyon 45, trying to get something done. Quarterback again throws over the middle. Ball is overthrown, nearly intercepted with 2 defenders there.
And he was looking for Case and Crandall over the middle. Crandall did have position on his man. It was Will Warner in coverage, but Lunt, after the fake handoff, just kind of overthrew him. And Crandall's going to kind of hobble off to the sideline there. Came up hopping after the play.
What a performance so far in this game by Hunter Johnson. 6 TD passes. Not to be outdone over at Pineview, Dominic McKenzie, 5 catches, 200 yards, and a pair of TDs. Some stars in Region 10. Of Quarterback back to pass. Has to run. Scrambles. Now he's in trouble. Snow Canyon will gang tackle. That's like a third of a sack for 3 guys, right?
And multiple Warriors there. Some familiar names like number 49, Anea, and then some guys we really haven't called up tonight. Number 94 was in there. That's Carter Fawcett for Snow Canyon.
Sack will be a loss of only a couple of yards, 3 yards. It'll be third down and 13 to go. We're still in the third quarter. This game was going so quick, and then we got a long halftime and a very long third quarter now. And Cedar looking to convert on third down and long. Coden Lunt is the quarterback. Ellis stays in with him. They run the fake jet sweep, throw the ball over the left side. It is bounced around and nearly intercepted. A couple of Snow Canyon defenders looking at their hands like, oh, I had that. One of them is Cole Warner, who's had a good game on offense.
Yeah, for Will Warner there getting in.
I said Cole again. Every time I say Cole, hit me, okay?
Well,
Will Warner.
The good news is the audience knows who you're talking about now.
It's Will.
It
is Will, period.
So Will Warner.
Maybe by basketball season, because he's a player on the basketball team, maybe I'll figure it out by then.
I believe in you.
Fourth down and 13. Sorry to interrupt you, but I got to get that right. And Cedar leaves the offense on the field from the 48-yard line of Snow Canyon. They've got to get to the 35 for a first down. Here comes blitz. Quarterback to pass. Throws a deep ball to the left side. And it should have been caught. And it is dropped for Cedar High. And the ball will go over on downs. That's a tough one because this time the quarterback delivered.
He did, and he had to do so in a pocket that was beyond dirty. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 Warriors who were around the quarterback by the time Lunt released that football and simply bounces off of Street's chest.
Yeah.
Not even hands, chest. It was about as wide open as you could want to be. And
I hate to say his name, but Braden Street should have caught that ball.
And he's caught a lot tonight.
It was a good throw.
He's been one of Cedar's best receivers this year. You know that one's going to eat him up. Plays like that, though, can also drive a player to be better than ever before. You know, with the right mindset, right mentality, those are things that you can always try to bounce back from.
Good call on that one. First down, Snow Canyon. They try the little jet sweep around the left side. Not a bad run. It'll get him about 10 yards. Some hits taken on the play for Nowatzki. And it will, though, get a first down to the 42 of Cedar on the jet or fly sweep. Snow Canyon nearing 300 yards of offense. We talked about Cedar's offense. A net of 109 yards right now. They had, I think at halftime they had 108. So they have 1 yard in the second half.
Ooh.
That's some good defense for the Warriors.
That's some phenomenal defense for Snow Canyon.
First down and 10 from the 42 of Cedar. Johnson stays in, hands the ball off. Good penetration on the Cedar D. Will bring up a short gain. First man there on defense was Tyler Ogden.
And we're seeing a couple new names trickle in right now for Snow Canyon. We saw it defensively on that last sack, and there with his first carry of the ball game was number 25, Braden Jones for Snow Canyon. No Drake Kelly in the game right now, and no Devin Jensen. Drake Kelly obviously does a lot for him defensively. Jensen a big part of this team offensively. So.
And by the way, that was Jones' second carry of the season.
Of the season?
He has 2 carries, 6 yards this year. Yep. He gets it again and gets it across the 40. We'll pick up about 3 yards or so. So he'll end up now with 3 carries and about, 10 yards.
A lot of these Snow Canyon backs have a similar approach, but one thing that I've liked that I've seen from number 25 thus far, that I've seen from Jones, is he kind of has a little bit of a quick ignition. Let's go with that. As soon as that ball ends up between his hands, he's fast. He's able to hit the hole with a lot of speed.
Third down, about 6 yards to go for Johnson. See if they let him throw with the game already in blowout status. Gets it, and he is going to throw. He's looking to the right side. Beautiful pass in traffic. Catch is made inside the 30 to the 25 to the 23-yard line. That one was perfectly thrown to Jake Hill.
And for Hill right there, it's about as easy as you can ask for. You're able to run your route, let the defense kind of sag. Johnson has time in the pocket. Just a simple connection between the quarterback and his receiver that results in a fabulous Freddy's first down.
You're just tuning in. Snow Canyon up big, 41-7. They've turned this thing into a laugher. It was 7-7 at the end of the first. Late flurry by Snow Canyon made it 27-7 at half. Another handoff to the running back. You're right, he's quick, but he could not get to the corner. Good pursuit on defense for Cedar by Ryan Hill.
Yeah, Ryan Hill's quick too. He actually had a touchdown, the game-winning touchdown in that overtime victory against Canyon View. Came in the running back spot, got her done, does a lot for this team defensively. He shows his speed right there.
Warriors are 4 yards short of getting 300 for the game. They have 296 yards right now. You got to figure in the last 90 seconds of the third quarter, they'll probably punch that thing across and get that 300-yard plateau. Hunter Johnson, the quarterback. We'll keep it. I'm sure the coach is cringing right now. He got his franchise QB keeping it in a blowout. He does gain a couple of yards on the left side, gets it inside the Red Rock Real Estate red zone at about the 18-yard line. It will bring up 3rd down and 7.
And at the high school level, anytime a quarterback leaves or takes off out of the pocket, gets past the line of scrimmage, tucks the football, however you want to go about it, you don't see a lot of these quarterbacks slide or avoid contact, especially here in Region 10. A lot of these guys will just put their shoulder down and try to take you out.
3rd down and 7. Johnson will throw. Looks to the right side. Quick out there is caught right at the marker. That was a timing play. If that's a little bit softer pass, that's a pick six the other way. Instead, Esplin makes the catch and is very close to a 1st down.
And that's great, just chemistry between Esplin and Johnson because, like you said, that could have been a pick. Hershey was coming at a very quick pace, and instead it goes over him and right in the corner of where Esplin needs it.
By the way, move the chains. It is a 1st down at the 11-yard line. They're in the Red Rock Real Estate red zone as we go 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We'll be taking a 1-minute timeout. We'll get you some score updates, too, as we go into the break. Right now, 1st down and 10 from the 11 for the Warriors. Quarterback Johnson throws a quick out, caught out there at the 10, to the 5. Can he get to the pylon? He does not. The referee says, nope, you stepped out at the 1-foot line. And grabbing his head, was that Nowatzki or Warner?
No, that was actually Bo Hickman.
Oh, Hickman.
And he had a perfect seal block on the outside from Jake
Hill
as well.
Beautiful block. And by the way, there's 1/10 of a second left in the quarter. He did go out of bounds at the 1-inch line or 1-foot line or whatever you want to call it. A referee actually, you take his shoe, it's standing right next to the pylon. That's where the ball is spotted. So we may actually have a rushing touchdown here. Last play of the 3rd quarter, barring penalty. Handoff, running back fights for yardage. Did not get in. Jones couldn't get in, and the quarter will end. We'll take a stroll all the way to the other end of the field. After 3 quarters on our We Win scoreboard, it's 41-7 Warriors.
Hey, it's Luke with Udine Associates at American Family Insurance. At Udine Associates, we love insurance so you don't have to. With a quick call, we can get you an instant quote with the right coverages. My team of licensed agents are ready to help you with better insurance from American Family. Give us a call at 435-251-9102.
Hey, you for voting us the best furniture and appliance store in Southern Utah again this year. We couldn't do it without you. We appreciate all the support from you as well as the community for the 47 years we've been in business. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts here at Boulevard Home. We love you and we love Southern Utah.
Welcome back, everybody. Andy and Rustin live from SCHS. We didn't think this would be the biggest blowout of the night, but it's starting to look that way. Warriors up 41-7, and they have the ball about maybe 9 inches from the goal line, maybe 12, I don't know, less than a foot, on 2nd down and goal from the 1.
That last play, when Jones tried to get into the goal line, he was stopped by Bryson Bennett, able to pull him back. Bennett, one of the stronger players on the Cedar defense, hoping to try to get another stop.
Hand off Jones again, and again he's going to be just short of the goal line. Tried to do the lower the shoulder, pound his way in, could not make it, and so it'll be third down and goal. I'm looking at the football right now through the binoculars. There is maybe a whisper of an inch between the nose of the football and the goal line.
Credit on that stop goes to Ben Ellis. That was a pretty solid hit, too.
Hearst Ace Hardware update. Pineview scores again 31-0. Panthers got an 11-yard run from Byron Collison. And Desert Hills has scored again. Thunder lead Crimson 19-7. Here it is third down and goal from the 1-foot line. Quarterback Johnson kept it himself, still scrambling around. He's going to fight for yardage and get into the end zone. What a run by Johnson. They had him contained at the 5, and somehow he got away.
Oh, Ellis put his hands on him there for a second for Cedar, as well as Allen for just a little bit. Both of them had a chance. Neither of them could bring him down. For a second, it appears Johnson might barely touch the turf with his knee, stays up, keeps going, plunges forward for the score. That's our first rushing touchdown, AG. But it's still by the same guy, Hunter Johnson.
That would be, let's see, 6 touchdowns for him?
That would be 6.
Wow. Extra point brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth is up and good. We'll take a break as we go under 11 minutes left. 47-7, Warriors on top.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the Cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
Maybe insulted by their coach's decision to squib a bunch of kicks, they decide, all right, we'll kick one deep. Can you guys cover it? The coverage team was great. Actually covered the long kick, and Cedar will have to take over inside their own 25-yard line. I said the score wrong as we went to break. It's 48-7, not 47-7, but we'll have the mercy clock running. That means as soon as they get the ball set for play, they'll start the clock rolling as Snow Canyon has turned this into a laugher.
And right now, if you're Cedar, the Reds have just got to be focusing on polishing this offense. We know next week they'll gear up for another big game. Actually, I believe that Cedar will be on the road at Hurricane, a winnable game for this Reds team. So it's about finding the little things in this offense, making it work. Your last drive was the first time you made it into enemy territory in quite some time. That's a positive. Build on that. That's what they want to do here.
Lunt back to pass, looks right the whole time, throws a deep ball to the right side in double, triple coverage, and I believe Warren just made a catch, didn't he?
Yeah, that was Warren with a big grab. Couple flags fly in after the fact. There was some jostling going on between the Snow Canyon secondary and Warren, but
now the defender on that play says, I think that's on the offense. Let's see what the officials decide. The catch was made just into Snow Canyon territory at the 47. Let's see what the White Hat says as he comes, separates himself from the crowd. They're talking to the Cedar coaches, so I think it's going to be defense.
Yeah, it was Preston Fry on the coverage.
Pass interference on Snow Canyon, so they can just decline that penalty and take the about, 36-yard gain.
Yeah, and that was a pretty ball thrown by Lunt there. He had time in the pocket, didn't have to rush anything through, put the proper amount of air underneath that, and trusted his big receiver to go up and make a big play. Remember, Warren responsible for the 45-yard touchdown pass that has put Cedar on the board here tonight.
Yeah, he's got like 2 catches and 90 yards or 80 yards or something like that. So pretty good game for him, even though he only caught 2 balls. Line again back to pass. Looks deep over the middle. Ball is caught. Nice delivery. Falling down after making the catch was his receiver, but it will be a first down. on the grab was, let's see, that was Hershey.
Yep. Tell Hershey's a guy who's had his name pop up multiple times for the Cedar team. They use him so often. We've seen him take a screenplay in the backfield right there, just a quick slant, makes the grab, leaves his defender in the dust. And this is probably the most we've seen the Reds move really since the first quarter. In fact, they're probably moving better than they did in the first when they scored.
Lunt wants to pass again, throws on a little button hook. The catch is made, and it'll be another first down for Cedar as they get the ball down to about the 20-yard line. On the grab that time was Crandall.
And we are seeing Snow Canyon's defense change.
A little bit of prevent. They're playing off, yep.
A little prevent. We're seeing their style change as well as the names out on the field. We're getting some younger guys some minutes here. But if you're Cedar, you still eat this up. These are plays that work. These are routes that your receivers excel at. And you hope that you can capitalize here.
By the way, Crimson Cliffs gets a touchdown with under 7 minutes left. They pulled to within 19-14. Another pass deep over the middle. The ball a little high, and an incomplete pass near the goal line. Trying for Warren. It'll be second down and 10. That touchdown, Kona Crowell to Gunnar Orr for 39 yards. Again, under 7 minutes left in that game. 19-14, Desert Hills leading Crimson Cliffs. Pretty good contest going in that one. And that Pineview Hurricanes score, 38-0 now. Pineview on top. Sawyer Woods with a 16-yard touchdown run early in the fourth quarter. Pineview up by 38. Here, it's a 41-point Snow Canyon lead. Play action for Lunt. Looks deep over the left side. Ball thrown into the end zone. Contact after the play. A little get-floored hit for the Snow Canyon safety on the play will cause an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's number 16 getting his hands. Sorry, I don't think that's 16. I'll have to get a number on that.
Like a 10 maybe?
Must be a 10 because 16's Hickman.
That would be Caleb Norton.
That sounds more accurate.
Yep. He looked like he maybe didn't feel too good after that hit either, even though he delivered the hit. Like guys were trying to high-five him. He's like, I'm good. Yeah, that's good. Third down and 10 now. Quarterback rolls to the left. Lunt looking left the whole way. Throws the ball deep. The ball is caught inside the 5, and Cedar, I believe, nope, they're going to say down at the 1 foot line on the complete pass.
And I know he didn't get into the end zone there. That was 17 on the grab, Ammon York for the Cedar Reds. I know he didn't get in the end zone, but I really like when Lunt's able to roll out to his left. He's
what a throw, huh? I thought Lunt delivered that perfectly. Coden Lunt with the bullet inside the 5. And again, York can't get in, but it's first and goal now for Cedar at the 1. Handoff big. Ellis fights for the yardage and gets into the end zone before his knee touches, and Cedar has cut it to, 48-13.
And Ellis needed a score there, just a big bruising back. And initially he was met at the line of scrimmage, and that didn't last very long as he powers his way in for the score. And we've said it. Cedar's not going to win this football game, but they can certainly instill confidence back into their guys and get ready for Hurricane next week. And there you find a couple things you like. Lunt rolling to the left is a bonus.
Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point is up and good. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. 48-14 now. Cedar got their second touchdown of the game. We'll be right back.
I think there's always options to treat your pain, and I would recommend to any patient who's dealing with chronic pain to be the squeaky wheel to get the grease. There's always more that we can do. Our whole goal is to get you better without surgery, but sometimes we need to operate as well.
And we work closely with surgeons when what we're doing isn't providing the amount of pain relief that the patient is hoping for. But we specialize in minimally invasive procedures, focusing mostly in the spine, but we also do work in other areas of the body.
With the knowledge that we can't help everybody, but we want patients to know that we're going to try to do our best to help them.
What is rewarding about working in this field? It's being able to help somebody get their life back.
Hey, got a Hearst Ace Hardware update. I hear that Crimson Cliffs just scored again. As the kickoff goes, we're expecting maybe an onside, so the return was not on. But, yeah, it's Snow Canyon taking over. Again, it's a blowout. We got 6 minutes left. They're up by 34 points. Now, I'm looking at Game Changer, and I don't know if your information is right, Russ, and I've got 26-14 Desert Hills.
Oh, here we go. A few plays later, Tyden Morris, 90-yard touchdown run, 26-14. So what happened is Crimson scored on the double pass to get to 14, cut it closer, and then Tyden Morris a 90-yard rush to blow that one a little open again.
That is late in the ball game now, and again, it's looked like it's going to be a Desert Hills win. So I was one person, I was starting to believe in Crimson, but wanted to see how they'd react after losing starting quarterback Chase Hansen, and obviously their offense has struggled. In fact, in that game, they have 146 yards of offense, and Desert Hills has over 400.
Oh, wow.
Ball is bobbled now as they throw a ball, and it is complete, and this could end up in a touchdown. It's a foot race to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, and Snow Canyon's going to win that foot race. Touchdown Warriors. We had a different quarterback and a different receiver on the play, and it is now 54-14. Wow.
That was Devin Jensen who checked in at quarterback. Normally the running back, he kind of bobbles around with the football a little bit, rolls to his right, dumps it to Go. That's number 13, Brandon Go, who's able to get past the cornerback, break a tackle, and he's off to the races.
Hold everything, no. There's some laundry on the field, and I'm not talking about a jockstrap. I'm talking about a yellow hanky. So this whole thing is coming back. Goff, Goff got the TD, and unfortunately for Goff, the foot race and the sprint goes for naught. Goff goes for naught, and the ball will come all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I said go. Goff is the proper pronunciation there, like Vincent Van Gogh.
Sawyer Woods with the TD. Pineview up 38-0 on Hurricane. Desert Hills, another Tyden Morris TD, 26-14. They lead Crimson Cliffs, and here it is 48-14 after that penalty. That calls back a touchdown. Smith, quarterback, keeps on a little read play. He'll get about 5, maybe 6 yards on the left side as we go under 4 minutes left. I think probably Esplin says, I got to get Johnson out there because he can't resist running the football. We got to get him out, get Devin Smith in, let him get some reps and some hits.
Yeah, and that was a good open field tackle there from Cedar cornerback Jacob Ellis, because when Devin Jensen hit that, got to the left side, had a little giddy up in his step, had some speed. You can tell he plays running back and made the tackle by Ellis that much more impressive.
Total offense in this game brought to you by Wilkinson's. 317 for Snow Canyon, 188 for Cedar. Quarterback hands off to the running back, I believe Jones. Not Jones, but it is a first down and more into the secondary to the 50 to the 40 of Cedar.
How about Kelly?
Drake Kelly on the run. His by far best run of the game for him.
Big run, too. For a minute, it looked like he might be swallowed up by white and red jerseys and breaks out the other side into enemy territory. Big run for number 31.
I think 29 to 30 yards on the carry for Drake Kelly. See what the official Wilkinson stat is on that one. 26 yards, they say, for Drake. Clock rolling, 2:50 left. It's all Warriors. They're going to win this game. As quarterback Jensen keeps left side, gets a first down, and is gang tackled at about the 30-yard line, maybe the 29. Warriors, I'm sure Jensen, he's like, I want to get another touchdown, man. We had that one called back. I want to score before this thing ends, but the clock is rolling with 2.5 to go. They have the ball at the 30.
Jensen was in a prime position to score in the first quarter when he ended up getting tripped by the turf monster.
That's right. I forgot about that play, yeah.
He was
going
close.
around the right side.
He was smelling pay dirt. And
his feet got moving a little faster than his body wanted to process, and he tackled himself. First down and 10, 2:05 left in the contest. Jensen, the quarterback now. Hands to the running back. I don't know, is that Kelly still in there?
It is.
It is. Kelly gets a couple. Rather anticlimactic 2-yard run on that one.
Yeah, and right now for Snow Canyon, clock continues to tick over there on the Nets on Fire clock. A minute 44, minute 43, minute 42. You get the point. But right now for Snow Canyon, game comfortably in reach. You got some new guys out there mixed in with some vets. Jake Hill still out on the right side. New running back in the ball game right now for Snow Canyon as well. That's number 27, Grant Slavens.
And he gets to carry it right up the middle, probably a JV kid, maybe even a sophomore or freshman kid, and he carries for about maybe 4 or 5 yards. Inside the 25 to about the 23.
And you like it. You get Braden Jones some touches. You get Grant Slavens some touches. Drake Kelly mixed back in there. You have your other running back, Jensen, on the field right now for a team that's really kind of been trying to find a rhythm. The rush attack, this game's been very, very helpful in that regard.
3rd down and about 4 for Jensen. High snap. He does get the handoff, and it's going to be right up the field to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and down inside the 5 goes the running back, Flavin, and that was this close to a touchdown.
It was so close for Slavens. You know he wanted it, and a lot of credit to the offensive line there. First, Jensen sold the fake, got a defender to bite on him, and then the offensive line opens things up. Slavens was untouched until he got past the 10.
Slavens with a gain of 21 on the play. It'll be 1st down and goal for Snow Canyon. Are they going to take more? They don't have to. They could take a knee right here and end this game. And I believe that's what's going to happen. They're not going to go for that last touchdown. Snap, kneel, ball game is over. Officially still 15 seconds left, but for all intents and purposes, Snow Canyon is going to emerge victorious on homecoming night. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the ball game is over. Snow Canyon wins it by a final of 48-14 over the Cedar Reds. What surprises you most, maybe, Rustin, about this game?
I mean, this was the Hunter Johnson coming out party, right? We all knew that he could play football, but 6 touchdowns, 5 passing, 1 rushing tonight for number 18. That's a big deal within its own right. But when you ask what surprises me the most, I knew Johnson could play. I knew Snow Canyon had wide receivers galore. But how about the defense? Last year, the defense was a big part for Snow Canyon. You just said 7 touchdowns for Hunter Johnson?
6 passing, 1 rushing.
6 passing, 1 rushing. See, stand corrected. He did more than even I initially thought, which was a whole awful lot. So we all knew that was a real thing. Wide receivers, real thing. But how about the defense? A big part of what made them successful last year. They hold Cedar to 14. Probably could have held them to 7 if guys would have stayed in. Things such as that. But they gave up 12 to Cypress, 7 to Morgan, 14 to Cedar. Other than the Ridgeline game, I think this is a defense that we have to pay a lot more attention to and give a lot more props to. Logan Mendenhall, Drake Kelly, they are leading the charge for Snow Canyon. And I really liked what I saw from the defensive side of things.
Think about the defenses in this region. Last week, Dixie held a very good Palm Desert team out of the end zone until the last minute of the game. You've got Snow Canyon now with won the shutout, but a really good defensive effort. Pineview has a shutout already to their name. They're on their way to a shutout again tonight. Defense, actually, with all the great offensive stars we have in this region, defense might be the real story in 2021 in Region 10.
I think you're absolutely right. Defense gets things done. Both teams that were there towards the end last year have phenomenal defenses. And for Snow Canyon, I think they can be pumped about the 48 points they put on the board. They should be pumped about Hunter Johnson, his performance. But watching the defense rise to the occasion, too, it never hurts.
All right, we're going to take a timeout, 2-minute break as we've got our postgame brought to you by Johnson Pediatric Dentistry coming up. It is, Warriors win it big, 48-14, back in 2 minutes. Warner, Johnson to Mendenhall, Johnson to Wade, that second Wade one, and the early one to Hill.
Cool. Yeah, that's 6. 6 passing touchdowns.
You guys ready?
Yep. We're 2 minutes in?
No, about 15 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, stay around for a minute. It's not like they're going to be down there.
You guys ready? 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Andy and Rustin live in a game we thought might be close, but I think there was always a possibility in our minds that Snow Canyon could blow them away, and that's exactly what happened. The Warriors, behind the strength of 700 Johnson TDs, 6 passing, 1 rushing, they beat Cedar by a count of 48-14. Welcome to the Johnson Pediatric Postgame Show. Dr. Cody Johnson and his staff make your kids feel right at home. See why so many are choosing Johnson Pediatrics. Call 628-0511 and ask for the new patient special. Well, I mean, we talked about a coming out party for a quarterback. I saw him first game of the year. He looked great. Nursing an injury last week, but today he was on point.
He really was on point. And you said nursing that injury against Ridgeline was such a detrimental factor in that loss, something that Coach Esplin cited in that loss. And tonight he looked good, looked healthy, was able to move around the pocket cleanly. His running ability, and as well as the running ability of Jensen and Drake Kelly, really allowed him to let things loose when it came to throwing the football. And from everywhere, from Mendenhall to Warner, to Wade, to Jake Hill. He found multiple guys in the end zone tonight. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance from Snow Canyon's quarterback. Probably one of the best we'll see this year from a Region 10 quarterback in a single game.
By the way, fireworks here. If you're watching and still with us, fireworks going on at Snow Canyon High School in honor of homecoming and also in honor of the victory for them. I've actually been to these, Rustin, where you play homecoming, you lose at home, and then they have a fireworks show. Nobody cares about the fireworks when you lose. They kind of suck. I don't want to see this. Come on, man. But we lost my homecoming game my junior year. We ended up winning it my senior year. But you don't want to go to the dance either if you lose homecoming. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's tough because maybe you do want to go to the dance if you lose homecoming, because I don't know how else you're going to drown your sorrows, especially at a high school age.
Our final score again, 48-14. Total offense in the game brought to you by Wilkinson's Stat Line. Wilkinson House of Lighting always sponsors our stats here. Snow Canyon ends up with 395 yards of offense, just short of 400. Cedar with 188 yards of offense in the contest. So, almost a 400-yard night for the Warriors. Other team stats, Snow Canyon 185 rushing. I don't think we realized Drake Kelly ended up with over 70. Johnson had over 40 in the game. A lot of it came late in blowout time, but still, if you're able to run the ball, use that 4-minute offense to run the clock, that's a pretty big deal. And, of course, passing 210 yards through the air, but it was the efficiency, really, that was the story of the game. Hunter Johnson is easily our Ernie's 2 Sinclair player of the game with 17 of 25, 210 yards, 6 touchdowns passing, 1 interception. He also rushed 43 yards and a rushing touchdown in the game. Like I said, I want him on my fantasy football team.
Oh, man, multiple guys tonight for Snow Canyon we would take on our fantasy football team because they were putting up numbers. And if you're the Warriors, you have to feel like this is something that can translate, right? Especially next week as you get ready for Crimson Cliffs here on your home field again, back-to-back home games. Your offense opens up. You take on the Mustangs, another talented defensive team. You got to feel like this will translate for Snow.
Again, our Ernie's 2 Sinclair player of the game. Ernie's 2 has you covered. Fuel up and grab a snack like the famous chicken strips at Ernie's 2 Sinclair, delivering your player of the game all season long, located in St. George, Hurricane, Cedar, and Beaver. No contest, no problem. Even though we had some great defensive players, Hunter Johnson was phenomenal for the Warriors.
and it's something that we'll probably see more of all year. We talked about it coming into this game. His completion percentage up around 65%, which is phenomenal. He completes more than half his passes, one of the highest in Utah 4A. That's fantastic. But tonight he went from completing passes to throwing touchdowns. He came into this game with 6 touchdowns, I think, on the season as a total, and then he has 6 tonight, including a rushing touchdown. Yeah, coming into this game, he had 6 touchdowns. So he ties that mark, beats that mark tonight in a single game performance at the start of region play. It doesn't get much better than that if you're Snow Canyon.
A reminder, our Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert is in effect. When your team scores 25 points or more, head to Yogurtland after the game and ask for your free Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert. That's a 5-ounce yogurt, absolutely free from Holbrook Asphalt. They scored obviously a little more than 25, 48 in the game for the Warriors. Thanks again to Holbrook Asphalt. They pay for it. And time for our Playmaker play of the game. This might be a hard one because Snow Canyon had a lot of great plays, both offense and defense. Playmaker of the game is brought to you by AWP. It's easier than you think to buy direct and save at Appliance Wholesalers. Plus, they're the #1 playmakers in the appliance business, open to the public across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. And I am, in this case, going to defer to my man, Rustin, who's been keeping track of all the great plays in this game. Does one stick out in your mind? The one right now that jumps out at me is that block punt, but
yeah,
there were so many good plays.
You're spot on. There's so many good plays. There were multiple sacks. Anea, his name was called a ton tonight. Fumble recoveries, Logan Mendenhall, 2 interceptions. Those are viable. But let's go back to that block punt. The game was tied 7-7 when Tag Gubler got his hands on a Cedar punt attempt that was recovered by Snow Canyon, ended in a Jordan Wade 11-yard touchdown, and that really swung the momentum. It gave Snow Canyon the lead, and they never looked back from there. I think that makes Tag Gubler's blocked punt your Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker play of the game. I think you're spot on.
I think that's a great call on that one. The block punt when the game was still very much in doubt.
Yeah.
Early second quarter, block punt for Gibson, and Snow Canyon romps from there. They end up scoring at 7-7. They end up scoring 41 unanswered points before Cedar finally punched one in. So, again, congratulations to the Warriors. They get the win tonight by a final of 48-7. Again, Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert in effect. Go to Yogurtland right now. Over at Desert Hills, it is, I think it's a final 33-21. Excuse me, that's at Crimson Cliffs, but looks like the Thunder are going to go to 1-0 in region play. Congratulations to Coach Rick Berry, his very first region victory as a head coach. And over at Pineview High School, Pineview 45, Hurricane 6. That game has gone final 2 scores of the game. Let's see, a touchdown by Ashby on a TD pass made it 38-6, and then Pineview knocks one in with 2 minutes to go. Sawyer Wood to Marcus McKenzie, Dominic's brother, and that makes it 45-6. By the way, Woods in the game, 14-23, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Dominic McKenzie, 5 catches, 200 yards for the Panthers. They go to now 4-0 overall, 1-0 in region play. The winners tonight, Desert Hills 1-0, Snow Canyon 1-0, Pineview 1-0 in region 10 play.
And honestly, it's kind of how we expected things to shake out for the most part. That Desert Hills Crimson Cliffs game had a little bit more questions to it, especially with the quarterback situation going on. But everything so far pretty chalk. And really, I think if we learned anything tonight, AG, it's that there's still really no clear order in Region 10. Things are still very much up for grabs. Other than Pineview being the favorite as of now, I expect these region games to only get better from here on out than the 48-14 score we saw here tonight, or even Desert Hills able to win by double digits against Crimson Cliffs. Things are only going to get better in region play.
Imagine the wars we have ahead. Crimson Cliffs right here at Snow Canyon.
Yeah.
You've got a matchup between Dixie and Pineview, Dixie, Crimson, Dempsey, Snow Canyon. We've got some really good games up ahead, don't we?
We do. We really do. And kind of looking ahead at that, I mean, we have Snow Canyon Crimson next week, like you said, and then Cedar's going to try and rebound by taking on Hurricane next week as well. That one being played out at the Tigers Den.
Yep.
And even Desert Hills has a non-region game. It's supposed to be their bye week. Some teams take the bye week. Some team find a non-region game. Desert Hills plays North St. Pete next week, so they'll try to keep themselves battle-tested.
And the big marquee game next Friday night, Dixie at Pineview. The teams we picked to finish number 2, Dixie, and number 1, Pineview in region play. Should be a heck of a battle. Dixie coming off a bye, getting ready for the Pineview Panthers. That's some good stuff up ahead in region, not 9, region 10. Still getting used to that one.
It's tough.
That'll wrap it from here. Rustin, thanks so much for your good work over there in the color commentary. I'm Andy Griffin. Thanks to Matt Hamlin, also Ken back in the studio pushing the buttons at KDXU. As it's a final. Snow Canyon with the big victory, 48-14 over Cedar.